This one gets nothing like a half. It's not where I'm kissing. The shot takes far off his. Back up the Manny was his hand did like he's going to swing a lot anyway. That's the thought when he gets back there, he just touches him on the side of the road. It's easy for me to say. It still hurts. Just like chance to catch the back there. But bringing his hands like he was going to swing and tried to draw him in. But sometimes that's the toughest thing to get out of the way because you're so trained when you recognize that it's a ball that's going to break away from you. You continue to start your motion towards the ball and it backs up against you.
The first bat of all time this year. And one of the strongest streaks in baseball doing it. Houston Astros scored first against the Yankees. The opposition that scored first was 18 straight games. Rate and Bush is the only one they scored. They lost 2 hours. Astros is sitting right further away the Astros. That's 5 straight losses. He's got the night weekend. The Jackson Martin with 2 out Machado will bring a touchdown. That's the
He's so good at that.
She wrote Turks and Caicos.
with a chance to earn $400 a month as a Are you ready for the ultimate entertainment experience? It's all here with Spectrum TV Select. Popular answer with 2 on and plus.
Are we cooked? I don't know. I'm gonna let Paul host the show tonight. Ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Alright. I think I'll go to 11.
I would hope that we could get. I'll just start fresh
Yeah,
after 11 o'clock.
So we'll get to 11 and you can do it.
Cool.
I don't remember the last time you started.
No, you're Big Show Bob now. You daytime Rosie now. You're part of the afternoon drive.
Because the bottom feeder is back where I belong. The bottom feeder is back.
I'm like, yo, why was my camera frozen like that? What the fuck? Let me see here. I got too much going on, yo. Watching the Met game. Got the headphones loud. Trying to post on my Instagram right now. Let me I see the YouTube people pulling up. I see Twitter pulling up. Let me put this on. I see the YouTube people pulling up. Twitter pulling up. Let me put this on. All right, let me put this on my Instagram. No, let them know we live in the building. Here, KM to AM. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. on the Fan in New York. Instagram story. Post. Okay. Okay. Are we cooked, yo? Are the Yankees cooked? What's the deal, yo? How y'all feeling out here, man? How y'all feeling, man? Are the Yankees cooked? Let's see who's out here already. First place, Jay Beers. Has it been 10 days yet? Can't score without Judge. Mets are up. Interesting game so far as well. I'll talk about it when I go live. Tie game right now, actually. Padres just scored. Let me get this box score up. As a matter of fact, the Mets win streak is on the line here. Mets have won 7 in a row. All right, let me get to you on the chat too before we get started. My boy Hector out here, you already know that. What up? Yeah, Mendoza was a jet. We'll get to that. We'll get to it. Third place, Sweet Baby Jesus. The Yankees could be 10 games out by this weekend. This is truly disgusting. I'm going to star that one. We'll get back to that in a moment. Oh, man. Sucks. Oh, man, it sucks. Right. Yeah, hit that like button. Hit that like on YouTube. My YouTube's growing, and I just had a couple conversations with someone on things to do on my YouTube. We gonna get it there. If you're on Twitter right now, go to the YouTube. Feel me? I'm about to put that link on the Twitter, as a matter of fact. Like, go to the YouTube chat, bro. Subscribe. Fug with me, man. Let's go. View your channel, McPherson brand. Because eventually, it's gonna be bigger than just me. Eventually, it's gonna be the whole fam. Feel me? I'm putting on for the whole fam. I'm not doing this just for me. I'm the one. I'm the one to blaze the trail, you heard? I'm the one to get us on. That's what you're supposed to do. You get on and put your fam on. All right, here we go. YouTube chat. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
What do we say, Keith?
Yankees are cooked, but let's just go through the motions here. Positive energy, positive vibes here.
Hey, don't worry, they'll get a 6th inning.
Yeah, that's gonna fix the entire bullpen, and like that can't fix the lack of hitting. What they had 6 singles and 2 walks. Can't even be worried about runners left in scoring position. There wasn't that many left. Like, they didn't get anything going. And I was told this is a series we had to have against the Rays, who were free falling. The Rays don't give a damn about any of that. When they come to Yankee Stadium, they're comfortable. Kevin Cash doesn't care about that at all. He's like, I'm gonna out manage Aaron Boone every opportunity I get the chance to.
I'm struggling with. They're not that bad.
Yeah, I guess my overall take tonight is adversity is hit. So now when they fall back, like, let's see, someone in my chat's like, they're gonna be 10 games out, but like they are about to they're about to be awfully close. Like right now, like the Red Sox, they're a half game ahead of the Red Sox. And let me go to the scores here. I think the Red Sox are winning.
They're winning, but they're in a rain delay.
Okay, bottom of the 9th, rain delay. But if that comes back and they get those 3 outs, you're looking at a third place Yankees team a couple days before the deadline here with 3 more games against a division rival that, like, they're not winning the next 3 in a row to take this series.
What exactly are you going to get at the deadline? That's the other part.
No, we know what's out there.
There's nothing out there.
We know what's out there.
There's
And
no
we
savior.
and we-
I like Bednar too, but like that's
David
not a
Bednar is not gonna-
savior.
it'd be nice, but
There's
like
no guys that
they're saying they need a left-handed reliever out of the pen, another reliever. They're looking at another outfielder, which also is telling me that they don't feel good about Judge. You need another outfielder. You have too many outfielders. Now you actually you don't have too many outfielders, but Rosario can play the outfield. Spencer Jones isn't getting called up. Back spasms. Or you just don't want to call him up, or are you going to try? I'm going to talk about it tonight.
But I mean, again, but either way, I still feel like we're stuck in this idea of like, look, they always made trades, like the David Justice, the Cecil Fielders, 30 years ago.
Those guys
aren't available anymore.
They make trades for Frankie Montas and Joey Gallo
But it's
and
not even,
Andrew Benintendi.
Those guys don't get traded anymore.
Yeah, those guys don't get traded anymore.
We don't
Difference
have-
makers,
there's no, oh man, this guy is, he's a little on the old side. He makes a couple of bucks, will be a free agent at the end of the year. You want him? No, you don't get the guy anymore.
You can get Ryan McMahon and Ahmed Rosario though. For nothing, for nobody. Nobody you'll miss.
And part of it's because half the league makes the playoffs at the trade deadline on July 31st. Nobody knows if they're in or out. And a team that's going to trade you an actual impact bat, they look at it and they go, I'm only 6 games back. Am I really pulling the plug? So it's the perfect storm of there's nothing that's going to help you.
And they're not going to ever sell because,
They should.
yeah, but they're not.
No, they won't.
Because they're going to, their whole thing is we were in the World Series last year.
As long as you're in the mix, it's good enough. And that's why you stay in the mix, because you're just good enough.
And that's what I'm talking about. Okay, adversity is hit. Maybe the story changes here, right? Boone likes to talk about how they hold the pen and all this other stuff. Well, all right, here you go. Write us a ridiculous story of how you make it as the 3rd wild card and run to the World Series. All right, chat, we're going live now. I'm going to get right to it. Honestly, I haven't been on since Friday night's game. I went to Friday night's game when they I literally stepped out of there after Schwarber's 2nd home run, and then they got waxed at the end of the game, and I came in here, I was like, whatever, yo. And then Sunday, I turned that game off after Stroman walked 4 guys in the 4th inning, I think. And, yeah, here we go.
Good evening at 11 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti. Mets looking to extend their win streak up to 8 straight. They're even with the Padres at 1 apiece in the 4th inning. Jeff McNeil with a walk. Mark Viento stepped to the plate against Dylan Cease, who's given up a run, couple of hits, 3 walks. He has struck out 7. The Mets run that comes on a Brett Beatty sac fly in the 2nd inning. Xander Bogaerts singled to center. That was off Frankie Montas in the 3rd inning. That drove in Manny Machado. Montas a run on 4 hits. He has walked 2. He has struck out 3. Mets and Padres even at 1, top of the 4th in San Diego. Rays double up Yankees 4-2 as the Bombers played a 2 in the 1st, both on bases loaded walks, but shut down the rest of the way. They mustered 6 hits, 3 of them coming in the 1st. Cam Schlittler took his first loss, allowing 3 runs over 4 and a 3rd, not to mention 4 walks, as he continues to battle command with his off-speed stuff.
Did that go out? Wait. He caught that?
6 losses in the 10 games to begin the 2nd half for the Yankees. Blue Jays lost, so they remain 5.5 back. And Aaron Glenn continues to change the attitude around the Jets. Practice one-on-one tackling as they put the pads on for the first time. As for the comparison to Bill Parcells and what he learned playing for him, Glenn was quick to say this is his club.
Tatis just robbed Vientos. No one knew what.
84 degrees, clear skies, Central Park. That's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
p.m. to a.m. on WNKN.
Yeah, let's get right into it, folks. Keith McPherson back on the fan. A little bit after 11 p.m. You've got me till 2 a.m. Another one of those quick KM to AMs after the Yankee post game. And the Yankees lose, and we'll get all into that. And the weekend that was against the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was last with you, I was coming from Yankee Stadium Friday night. Saw that game. Saturday's game, I turned off and couldn't even talk about it after Stroman walked like 4 people in the 4th inning, and then went about my weekend. And then I went to the game yesterday. They avoided the sweep, but misery returns tonight because that's the Tampa Bay team that everybody said was free falling, that this was the right time for the Yankees to catch them in Yankee Stadium. And no, there's never a right time. I've told you this multiple times. Tampa is comfortable in the Bronx. What did I say last week? Anybody listen to those shows? Tampa is comfortable in the Bronx. They're comfortable Airbnb-ing our spring training home. The boss down in Tampa, they can't wait to come up here and play in the big building in front of a Monday night Yankees crowd, right? Must be like industry night or casual night. We'll get to that in a minute. Still 37,000 plus in attendance to see the Yankees go out there and score 2 runs in the first inning to even up the score, but then have nada after that. And I remember a couple years back, 2023, talking about how, the Yankees losing Aaron Judge is like a starting quarterback in the NFL going down, and that offense not having their QB. The offense without Aaron Judge just always looks different. I mean, this is a year where they have multiple hitters. This is a year where they have a lot of guys. I mean, welcome Ahmed Rosario. He got a pinch hit tonight. Ben Rice didn't. But yeah, we'll unpack this one. Ultimately, Cam Schlittler goes out there in the beginning of the game, and he gets into some trouble, doesn't have his command, walks Aranda, Junior Caminero, those 2 young guys, all-stars for Tampa this year. They get him early, but the Yankees had plenty of opportunities. I think they only had 6 singles for their 6 hits. Yeah, no extra base hits, no homers. How do the Yankees score? The Bronx Bombers. Come on, I know you guys hear me say the same stuff all the time. We only score if it's the homer. And yeah, they are not able to score for 8 innings. They go down 4-2 to Tampa Bay, and you're kind of scratching your head right now as people are talking about this trade deadline that approaches in a couple days. And of course, the Yankees are buyers. They've already bought. We'll get to that tonight. I haven't spoken on Ahmed Rosario. I haven't spoken really too much on Ryan McMahon. Friday, we got the news, and I said, great, I'm going to give him the opportunity to be a different version of himself, as so many people wanted to complain about it. And I mean, so far, I think he's been good. We'll talk about Judge's injury tonight. I haven't really spoke on that. It sucks. We'll talk about Stanton in the outfield. I mean, hey, we can talk about it now. There's not much to talk about in this first game. What I'll say is, if this is a series you needed to take, it would behoove you to get this first game. 4 runs, beat you in the first game. And can't be mad at Cam Schlittler tonight. Can't be mad at Hedrick or Hamilton tonight. Luke Weaver comes in and does the job and keeps it close. But this is a team that you're wondering right now, is it wraps? Is this it? Like, how bad is Judge hurt on the 10-day IL? What can we get at this deadline to really help? Like, a move looks better with another move and another couple moves. So the first 2 moves, I like the first 2 moves. And I'll say this about Ryan McMahon. He's up for the challenge. He wants to be a Yankee. This guy shaved his beard. He talked about being here and what it meant to him. And seeing him over there with that number 19, the glasses, people put the side-by-side of him and a young Aaron Boone. I know Aaron Boone isn't really you guys' favorite player or manager right now, but that guy can pick it. Third base is not difficult for him. Playing defense is part of who he is, and man, he had some clutch plays just over the weekend. He put on a clinic, and then he also was clutch with his bat. Now, I know people wanted to, show me his road splits and his strikeout numbers. I think I read he was leading the National League with strikeouts, but all I said about that was like, listen, bro, this is not the Rockies. This is not Coors Field, and I think he's going to be pretty solid. And then when you see a move to get Amed Rosario, both of those guys, the price was right for. There's not much available at this trade deadline. I was just talking to Marco, like, who is supposed to come in here and save the day? Who is supposed to come in here and fix this? I don't know. Cashman's got to cook, and I do believe he's cooking. I do believe, adding these two veterans, a third baseman, and then a utility guy, especially with Judge, I think it helps the clubhouse. It helps the roster. We're better. It's going to replace the production that we didn't have with guys like Yorbit Vivas and Oswald Peraza. But we need more. You got to stack the deck. So keep going. And there's rumors out there the Yankees are going to do something big. The Yankees are still interested in a starting pitcher, in a left-handed reliever, maybe an outfielder, maybe Harrison Bader, whatever, bro. Go for it. Go for it. Because if Judge is hurt to the point where he can't throw the ball, what's that? Like, I don't know. We saw that, and I was on during the Toronto series. We saw that play. We didn't think much of it. They kept him in the game, and he kept playing games. He DH'd the next day. He was in right field Friday night. Like, why did they take him out? I don't understand sometimes. Were they trying to hide the injury? Whatever. All in all, we dodged one. It's, his UCL is intact. It's just a flexor strain. But Judge is the captain and the leader of the team, and obviously the best offensive player in the game. Like, without Judge, I don't know. It leaves the team in a space where they got to figure out who they are without Judge in that lineup or in that outfield. 888-808-1019. So, we'll unpack everything. Like I said, I haven't been on since Friday night. But I just hate now that the Judge's injury-prone narrative has popped up. I hate now that, he's getting older. See, he's breaking down. They're going to have to put him at first base. I hate that crowd gets to feast on this IL trip that just came from him throwing the ball. And I also hate that Spencer Jones can't be called up. Why not? He's got back spasms. Yeah, so, last week he was pulled from the lineup. He's got back spasms. But I know last week I was talking about, hey, all these other teams call their young guys up. You're seeing young guys across baseball making an impact, tearing it up. Guys that barely, we just saw Nick Kurtz have what people are calling the best game ever. Tonight, Roman Anthony delivering for the Red Sox as I go back to the score to see if the Red Sox are still in a delay here. Bottom of the ninth, the Red Sox are at Target Field facing the Twins. They're in a rain delay, but they're up 4-3, where if that score holds, your New York Yankees will be a third-place team tonight in the American League. And I don't even care about what their record is. They have a terrible record in the American League East. Not good. I'm sure I could look it up. I'm sure Katie Sharp or one of these guys. You know what, Paulie? Go ahead and tell us. $11-19 is not good enough. So I understand those of you saying sell, but I'm telling you they're not going to sell because now, right, adversity has hit the Yankees, and not just now. For the last 2 months, you had the June Boone swoon, and in July, you gonna cry. In July, you cry. And we're still in July. They're still losing games. And we've got this deadline coming up, but you don't have the answers. There's not much available there. This team has embarrassing errors, errors in the field. And they've got scoreless streaks, and you down with LOB. Yeah, you know me. It's not good enough for a team that was in the World Series last year, that talks all the time about being in the World Series last year, is supposed to be hell-bent on being a champion with the goal of getting back this year, and that's realistic still, right? Because the American League is wide open. They say the American League is weak. They say, well, I'll say this. I usually know when to get off the roller coaster. Now's not the time to get off the ride. Now's the time to obviously vent and talk about all these different things. Cross your fingers, wear your pajamas inside out, wake up and hope for the best. Hopefully there's another move and another move, but now's not the time to get off the roller coaster. When they're out of the wild card picture, maybe when they're fighting to be the last wild card. But a different story is being written here. Maybe there's another way to the top, and it's not being the number 1 seed in the American League, being the division winners, being the favorites, being the odds-on favorite if you're gambling, having Aaron Judge. Maybe there's like, hey, the Braves won it a couple years back with Acuna down. But what did they do? They went for it at the deadline. No team wins the World Series without making moves at the deadline. So let's see what they do. They have to add difference makers. I think McMahon and Ahmed Rosario can be difference makers for sure, but there's got to be more than that. And it's pitching. They got to repair this bullpen as best as they can. We know there will be help on the way with injuries, and they got to try and get another starting pitcher, man. I think they have enough veterans in this clubhouse. I think Judge will be back. I don't know. There's a lot of people reading into it. Like with Stanton, I said, like, when I saw that they're putting Stanton, they'd rather put Giancarlo Stanton back in right field. He was out there warming up today. All the beat reporters had it. They'd rather do that than call up Spencer Jones. I'd rather you call up Spencer Jones. Give him the best treatment for his back possible. Call up Spencer Jones before I put Stanton back out there, because Stanton already missed the first 2 months of the season. You're one running play to his right or left away from him going on an IL trip, and then it's him and Judge out. Like, I don't know. I don't understand that. And I get it. Oh, Keith, he's owed this much money, or Keith, he used to play. Yeah, but that ship has sailed. He can't even run the bases. I was at the game yesterday. He had a surefire double, but couldn't leg it out. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me to put Stanton out there, especially when you just got Ahmed Rosario who could play out there. Now, it didn't make sense to me when they said Peraza was going to go out to the outfield. That was even more so. But now it's like, okay, you've got 3 outfielders. What does it mean? Are they trading one of Trent Grisham, Jason Dominguez? Are those guys on the table? Is Spencer Jones on the table? I don't know. I feel like Spencer Jones last week was knocking so loud on the door. He deserves to get called up. And the way that the baseball gods have made it, he's this left-handed Judge light. Judge goes down, you have the perfect opportunity to bring him up here. But, maybe they're waiting for him to continue to marinate down there, get more seasoning. What do I know? I'm just a fan that goes to the stadium, and I don't root against the Yankees. And as I was in the stadium Friday and Sunday, I understand a lot of you are disappointed, but I don't understand any of you showing up and booing Anthony Volpe or rooting against anybody in the pinstripes. How do you show up there wearing pinstripes, wearing Yankee logos, and heckle your own team? You don't root for the laundry. You're not rooting for everybody on your team. Like, they're going to make mistakes. And that play tonight, you could hear the boos in Hoboken where I was. Like, Volpe wasn't going to make that play. Aaron Boone spoke about it. He says, yes, he's got to trap that ball. He's got to stop it. He's got to whatever. He wasn't getting Caballero. Like, and that's why you can just kind of tell sometimes. Yankee Stadium is full of casuals, understood, it's Yankee Stadium. Yankee Stadium is full of fair weather fans, understood, it's New York, it's the Yankees. But it's like, man, we eat our own. And if you're there rooting against the Yankees when they already are down Aaron Judge, when they already have this many issues, they're about to be in 3rd place tonight. Cole has been out for the year. We're waiting on Heel to come back, Fernando Cruz to come back, Yarbrough, Leiter. Like, I don't know. I don't get our fan base that wants the world, but then you go there and you count against us, you root against us. Like, Volpe has to basically be perfect the rest of the way, which is impossible because baseball is a sport of failure. It's like Volpe's got to be perfect. And I know he's striking out. I know he's not making every play. I know he's brought it on himself. I know he's up there in errors, but it's like he's your shortstop. He's not going to be on the bench there, not taking him out. You're not helping matters by going there. And you think the kid doesn't hear it? Of course he does. You're not helping matters by going there and adding your voice. I was saying the same stuff about Devin Williams when I was in there when the Blue Jays first came to town. And I got on air and I'm like, how do you guys chant, "We want Weaver," before this guy gets an out? What are you doing? We need this guy. Opening day, you're booing this guy. Now look, now he's the best guy you've got coming out of that bullpen. And this bullpen needs a lot of fixing, man. The Yankees need to attack this deadline. Cashman's going to town. I don't know exactly what town. Shout out to CeCe going to Cooperstown. We'll talk about that. Rest in peace, Ryan Sandberg. We lost Ryan Sandberg tonight. Bryce Harper and Rob Manfred's story is interesting. We'll definitely talk about that, as well as Emmanuel Clase. Luckily, they're are a lot of different things that popped up in the world of sports and baseball. Carlos Carrasco, Yankees legend, Mets legend, he's gone. Like, there's enough stories that we don't have to harp on this one game tonight or the negativity. We'll talk all around it, though. That's enough for my open. I'm in here watching the Mets. It's 1-1. For the Met fan that might be in the car, not listening to the Mets call. Small ball, sac fly, single. Sac fly scored the first run for the Mets, a single for the Padres. But the storylines in this game, obviously, it's a reunion with, oh my God, Candelita in the Padres uni. Gets to see all his old teammates, and then it's a homecoming. Juan Soto's back at home, and Juan Soto has been getting jobbed all season. If you've watched his at-bats, if you watch these Mets games, like, he gets some egregious calls against him, whether he thinks it's a ball, it gets called a strike. And tonight it kind of boiled over a little bit with the home plate ump. So Carlos Mendoza's been ejected, came out there trying to save him. Juan Soto was throwing his hands out, kind of, getting into it a little bit. Lindor's batting right now. Last time Lindor was up, he had a hard ground ball that went off the back of Dylan Cease's head. So the Mets 7-game win streak is on the line here out in Petco Park. We'll keep an eye on that game as well. Yankee fans, call me up. Keith McPherson back on the fan. We'll talk all about everything, man. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back. All right, we're about to hit 1,000 in the chat. Let me pull y'all in a little closer, man. All right. And we'll switch the mic in a minute. We'll put the callers on. Let me see. Right before I started, we were right like here. There isn't a single one body that we can add to the pen to make right the ship. We need 4 decent arms, not one great one. Well, that's the thing. Fernando Cruz will be back. Mark Leiter Jr. will be back. Ryan Yarbrough will be back in some capacity. Cam Schlittler, if they don't trade him, could go to the bullpen. You really do only need another lefty so you can stop going to Tim Hill over and over and over again. And then let's see who else they can get, man. Swing and miss right-hander. Can't believe he caught that. Wow. Oh, I left that part out. Fernando Tatis robbing Vientos of a homer. That was sick. Yo, what up? What up? What up? Mets overrated, win a World Series. Right now they're looking like one of the better teams. We know it's been almost 40 years. But yeah, we can't really hate on them, Mr. Met Killer. I know that's your MO, though. Yeah, I saw. That's in my notes as well. Nicholas says, what's up, Keith? Cashman needs to go all in and get Johan Duran and Griffin Jacks. Yeah, but that's going to cost you Dominguez. That's going to cost you Spencer Jones. They want one of them. I guarantee you they want at least one of them guys. Class A off the list of potential relievers now. What a foolish way to destroy your career. Yeah, we'll get to it. We will get to it. The mediocre roster constructed by a GM way past his prime. Well, he's got the opportunity to kind of right some of his wrongs here. He's got the opportunity to kind of fix this. Yankees in the last 38 games before this game today are tied for the worst record in baseball with the Rockies and the White Sox. Only 15 wins. Yeah, they're ass. I said, bro, I'm gonna use that. I'll give you credit, Nicholas. I said it's the June Boone swoon, and in July you cry. Prayers up for the innocent lives taken tonight in Midtown Manhattan. Yeah, that sucks. My sister-in-law works up there off like 53rd and Madison. I used to work at Fubo TV, which is between 53rd and 54th off of 6th. I interviewed at NFL August of 2018. I've been in that building. I've been in the NFL offices. When I saw that report, I could visualize it, and then some stuff came out. It's scary, man. New York is like that, bro. Somebody was interviewing in that building today. I'll talk about it. You know, somebody was just going to work today or trying to get home. My sister-in-law, where she was at work, her building was on lockdown for a minute. They weren't letting people go home until, like, you know, it was clear. Make it make sense. Nothing can make it make sense. No, you're right. The Yankees used to be the team that would be simple in approach and not rely on swinging for the fences. Yeah, but now it's boom or bust. It's homer or nothing, man. It's got to hit it out, you know? Everybody's got to be the hero. Everybody's got to be the hero. And I get it, but it's super frustrating at home to watch. It's like we cannot piece anything together. We cannot piece anything together against these guys. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. People feel frustrated at the organization, and Volpe symbolizes the organization. They weren't booing one play. No, I heard you. I'll speak on it. All right, here, let's switch now. All right. California knows how to party. Yeah, Petco Park, San Diego. I've never been there. I want to go one day. Be nice to go out to San Diego and see a ball game. Keith McPherson on the fan, 888-808-1019. Bases loaded for Mark Vientos. He was robbed last at bat by Fernando Tatis Jr. It looked like it went out. Jeff McNeil didn't know it went out, and then Fernando Tatis had it in his glove. Let's see what he does here. 1 second. We're going right to the phones to talk to the Yankee fans. We're going right to the phones to drink more Yankee tears. We've been doing that for about a month. You know, shout out to the live chat. Nicholas in the live chat says, in the last 38 games before this one, oh, Vientos got that one that time. Yeah, a grand slam. 5-1 Mets over the Dads. I don't hate the Mets. These are my Mets. These are my Mets. I gotta do what some of these callers do. It's like, yeah, I'm rooting for New York. You know, the Yankee game goes off. I watch the Met game. I root for the Mets. I don't hate the Mets, and I don't hate the Mets. I know all their players. I know about this version of the Mets more than any other version of the Mets, and they're on a run right now. That 7-game win streak, that's a big one for Swaggy V. He said, you're not trading me to Houston. You need me. I'm clutch. I'm like this. This is what I do. Bring out the John Cleta. Bring out the home run John Cleta. Pose for the camera. They left me out of the Met quartet. They left me out of the Flushing Four. They left me out of this group. Don't forget about what I did for y'all. That's clutch, man. He got robbed of a home run, so you could say that he should have had 2 homers. Next time he gets up, there's not one guy on. The bases are juice. He hits that one out over Tatis's head. Same spot, just about 20 feet further. Can't rob that one. Okay, now let's get the Yankee tears in. Keith McPherson on the fan. I didn't even finish my thought. Well, it was Nicholas's thought from the chat. Nicholas writes, in the last 38 games before this one, the Yankees are tied for the worst record in baseball with the Rockies and the White Sox. Only 15 wins. Yikes. Yeah, the misery is back for sure. Let's go to Wilton, Connecticut and talk to Jack on the fan. What's up, Jack?
Keith, how you doing, my friend?
I'm all right. I've been in this misery for long enough, though, so I'm like, you know, it doesn't surprise me. You know, nothing to yell about at this point.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And let me say, I've spoken to you before. You're a fantastic broadcaster. It's appointment listening. You do a great job, man. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Of course. Look, I would never boo my team. I'm thanked in David Wells' book as a borderline nut job Yankee fan. I love my Yankees. and it pains me to say this, and bear with me. The only time I have ever cheered for my team to lose was that Tampa Bay series, notice the parallel, in 2016, when it was clear that the stubborn Yankees needed to see that they weren't good enough to compete that year. And what did we do? We traded our top flight relievers, Chapman and Miller, I believe. Yeah, Chapman and Miller. And we got some incredible talent back. We got Glaber, we got Clint Frazier, some other really good pieces, Justice Sheffield. We got some incredible return, and we're able to do what the Yankees do, which is to reload. We don't rebuild. We haven't had a losing season in 32 years. But I'm saying, I think it's possible. Like, what do your eyes tell you? It's not a championship team. Like, I think it's okay to say this isn't our year, and it's a weak free agent class for the next couple of years, and everyone's going to be offering Kyle Tucker $500 million. The Red Sox are going to be doing that to use that Devers money and to satiate that fan base. Like, we got to rebuild in reload in some sort of way. And do you really think they can win a championship? Like, Fried, Rodon, they're not as dominant as they were. I don't know, man. What do you think?
It's not looking good. They lose so much, and there's just so many flaws. How can you believe that this team can win a championship? But they will never admit that. Thanks for the call, Jack, and I hear you. What I'll say is, like, this is nothing like 2016 because, like, that team was aging outdone. Isn't that the year Gary Sanchez came up and hit a bunch of homers? I remember being at games that year. I think Dellin Betances blew some games that year. They were close. But then what happened the year after? They got to Game 7 of the ALCS, and the new baby bombers were here. And Aaron Judge didn't exist on that team. Cody Bellinger didn't exist on that team. Max Fried didn't exist on that team. And I know you guys are going to tell me Max Fried in his last 10 starts hasn't been what he was to start the season. It's still Max Fried. Like, he can still, get over the blister and figure it out and get him in the postseason. The script has changed. It is not going to be a straight shot back to the World Series as it was last year. It's not going to be a cakewalk. Adversity has hit. Injuries, errors, not being able to hit, leaving runners on base, striking out, all that. But shake the room. I've been saying that for the last couple of weeks leading up to this trade deadline. Shake the room. Send somebody packing. They haven't done that yet. And now they do have the ability to both buy and sell. And that's why I talked about, I'm like, is Dominguez on the block? Is Trent Grisham? Maybe they were before the Judge injury. Now it's like, wait a minute, we don't know if we could do that. So I think they have the ability to sell off some pieces, but there's no reload for next year. To get prospects, to get young guys, no. Jeff Passan's out there telling you the Yankees have the farm system and go get whoever they want. So then go dominate this trade deadline. Win the trade deadline. Since there's not that much out there, right? Emmanuel Clase is spiking his first pitch. You guys see that? If you follow me on Twitter, I was retweeting some of the highlights. Emmanuel Clase, when you watch him pitch, he throws 99, can touch 100 at the end of the game and dot his fastball. It's so funny when you find out that these guys are connected to this stuff, and then you go back. Like, same thing with Luis L. Ortiz, who came to Yankee Stadium and shoved against us from the Guardians. I'm like, were they in it together? When you look at these first pitches that Clase was throwing, there was one that he threw that almost hit the grass. And these umpires are so terrible. Like in the Blue Jays-Orioles game tonight. Literally, like middle, down the middle, like middle of the strike zone, strike gets called a ball. These umpires are so terrible. Clase's got to spike the ball to make sure that his first pitch of these at-bats that he's betting on or somebody in his gambling ring is betting on to make sure that those are balls. So anyway, he's off the table. You're not getting Emmanuel Clase. And I know around the league, right, people are thinking like, all right, Clase is out. And so then the Minnesota Twins are like, Griffin Jacks, Yohan Duran, yesterday's price is not today's price. Go get them then. Go get those guys. You need bullpen help in the worst way. I think you got enough bats. Fingers crossed that Judge can come back and play the field. But I don't know. It's not good. It's not a good feeling. They've lost so many games to teams that they should beat. They're struggling in their division. And you know what it is about this roller coaster, too? They bring you up on the highs of highs, right? They've come back from 2 no-hitters. As I'm looking at Dylan Cease, I was in Yankee Stadium when Dylan Cease had a no-no going. They came back from that one. Brian Wu, an all-star, was no-hitting them. They came back from that one. They have games where Cody Bellinger, has 3, almost 4 home runs. They can win 11-0 behind Carlos Rodon against a team like the Cubs, who, as we talk about 2016, that year the Cubs won it. They're good again this year. Like, I don't know. I don't know about this Yankee team. But I'll say this before we get back to the phones as well at 888-808-1019. With this Judge thing, it's not like Judge has carried the Yankees in October anyway. So, anyone thinking, pack it up because Judge is hurt? No, it's just a different route we're going now. This is a different story. Choose your own adventure. The Yankees will not sell. They can sell some, but like Cashman gave you a laundry list, told you he's going to town. They're not selling. They're going to try to add, and they're going to hope that Judge can come back and throw whenever he can throw, and they're going to rest him right now, and they're going to literally have Stanton out there. I hope Stanton's not a real option. I hope it's not a real thing. I don't think you need to do that. I don't think you could end up in a situation where you lose him. That's a homer. The Padres are fighting back. Luis Arias just hit a 2-run bomb. Now 5-3 in SD. Back to the phone we go. Neil is in Irvington on the fan next. What's up, Neil?
What's up, Keith? How you been, brother?
I've been better because the team has been better. And it's you can't. We don't even have winning streaks anymore. We don't go on stretches of good baseball. It's one.
I'm a diehard fan. I'm a diehard Yankee fan, just like you, Keith. But I'm gonna tell you something, Keith. They can't hit. I don't know what's wrong with the Yankees sometimes, man. Like in Toronto. If they beat Freed tomorrow, it might be that same scenario. Like in Toronto, another sweep. But just to be at home.
If they get swept 4 games at home by Tampa Bay, then pack it up. Because that's going to line up with the deadline and sell. If you let the Tampa Bay Rays come in, the Tampa Bay Rays are selling. They just sent Jansen, their catcher. They sold somebody. While they were in Yankee Stadium today.
And Keith, you promised me. I said, Keith, I can't see. So you said, let you know where I'm at in Yankee Stadium. Brother, that won't be this year.
You're not wasting your time. Heard you. Understand.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then, like you said, if they put Stanton in right field, he's done for the season. Because once he make a right, he's trying to check him.
He's going to break on one ball, and it's going to be a hamstring, a calf, and then his season's done. It's going to be like, why would you even play with that? You got enough guys.
Yeah. I was going for like 3.5 weeks just traveling. And I said, let me call my man Keith. It's time to give him a call. I ain't speak to you in a while since that day. But man, I don't know, Keith, with the Yankees, man. And I don't get down on my players. I just don't watch them. That's all.
Yeah, because you got to spare yourself the heartache, the frustration, being annoyed, and you getting out of pocket. Neil, you're the man. I appreciate the call. 888-808-1019. You know the number to dial if you want to talk to me. I've gotten to the point where, like, I don't get frustrated anymore. I was at the game Friday, and I vibed out. I'll be at the game tomorrow. I'm a vibe out. I'm going to enjoy the ballpark. I'm going to enjoy the season. I'm going to enjoy the weather. It's supposed to be super hot tomorrow. I'm pulling up in my underwear only. Like, I'm just going to enjoy myself and not let the Yankees kill my vibe. I'm not going to let the Yankees stress me out. Fans are showing up with Fire Cashman signs. Fans are showing up to boo and heckle our players. Friday night, I'm in 203, and we're doing the roll call. And when they do Volpe throws up his pinching hands, the Tommy Cutlers, hey, he throws it up so fast. And I wonder, I'm like, does he hear the people in between us going, Volpe? They're saying, Volpe sucks. Volpe sucks. And I'm like, what is going on? What is going on, y'all? This is where we're at. This is where we're at on July 25th. We're heckling our own player who costs nothing. It's one thing if it's Josh Donaldson or Aaron Hicks, who had contracts with some money and they were veterans and they were trash. Like, we turn on our own. We're eating our own. It doesn't make it any easier for the kid. He's not going to break out of it because he fights back the heckling and boos.
No, and the one thing that the Yankees have to look forward to is that they know that everyone who is booing will be there in October cheering, and they're not going to remember that they're cursing out Volpe, and they're not going to remember any of that.
That is the casual fair weather fan as well. There are obviously the diehards. There are obviously the season ticket holders. There are obviously the fans that call the fan and say, I've been a Yankee fan since. But there are also the casuals and fair weather fans that when this team does get to the wild card or does let them get to the wild card and host the 3-game wild card series. That's more money for the Yankees. If they can advance every round, now is not the time to get off the roller coaster. They suck right now. They are disappointing right now. They are underwhelming right now. Aaron Boone makes you scratch your head with some of the decisions and some of the things in the post game. Some of the players, it's not good enough, but it is what it is, and it's subject to change literally this week. So, I mean, maybe go outside, touch grass, take a deep breath, watch the Mets. There's football now. We're going to get into the football conversation later. At least the NFL has come right around when you need it if you're a Yankee fan, but it's not time for you to pack up your Yankees gear and put your football team on. It's time to understand that, like, okay, thinking that they were this like juggernaut that was just going to steamroll. Like when this season started, they did go on some runs. They did win some series. They did do some things that made us think like, hey, this team is better. The pivot, yeah, they've got it. You know, this team is going to, okay. So that now that's out the window. Choose your own adventure. We're going down a different road. This roller coaster is going to take you to the highs of highs and the lowest of lows, but we don't know where it's going to end. It could still end in October. It could still end in the World Series. That might be unlikely, but crazier things have happened. They still do have good players. They still do have all of these resources. They are still the New York Yankees who are not going to sell. They could sell off some pieces, but they're going for it at the deadline. They're going to add. They're going to keep adding. And like I said, those two moves they made with Ryan McMahon and Ahmed Rosario, Clayton Beeter is the only name that you guys know. And how did we get Clayton Beeter? For Joey Gallo a couple years ago. The price was right, folks. Those guys are veterans. Those guys are going to help defensively. I mean, Rosario comes in there today, and what you hear about him, he bats .299 against lefties and this and this. And his name has been attached to the Yankees for years, whether it's free agency or potential trades. They got him. Okay. He takes the jersey off of Marwin Gonzalez's back. He's on the team now. You know, he comes in tonight, and Michael Kay says, it was a tepid, sound of, he's making his debut. It wasn't like, I felt like people didn't even care or know. And I said online, I'm like, those are the same fans that are booing Volpe because he struck out a few times and couldn't make a play, going to his right in the infield. It's just like the people that are out on a Monday night to drink or just there to heckle the team, that's not helping. Now's not the time to quit on the team. There's a lot more season left.
Yeah, it's crazy. And again, like from a bird's eye view, like the Yankees are going to make the playoffs. It would be a disastrous collapse.
We can't say that either.
If the Yankees are going to be in October, and everyone who is booing now, whether the fair weather fans or the diehard fans, if you're booing now, that's fine. It's your right to boo. You're going to be there in October, and you're not going to give a crap about what happened at the end of July.
And that's the thing. And so, like, why not come in as a little bit of the underdog? Why not have to work for it, right? Like, that adversity should make this team come together a little more versus what I've been saying about them, which is like everything is handed to them. They live off the backs of Yankees past. They're still living off of a World Series loss. Like, maybe if they get humbled right here, they do fall to third place after having a 7.5 game lead in first place. Maybe something happens in that clubhouse, in that room. Maybe somebody that they like or that they've been with every single day since spring training or years gets traded. And it makes everybody, lock in. It makes everybody realize, hey, nothing is given to you. Nothing is granted. Hell, if you miss the postseason this year, there's going to be real conversations about what to do with the manager. It's getting loud. You have to make the postseason. You have to right the ship. You have to play better. You have to figure it out. I think help is on the way. I expect them to be buyers. I expect Judge to come back, and hopefully he can throw and get back in right field. But if not, they still have enough pieces to compete, and so much is going to happen. I don't think we have a real conversation about not making the postseason until they're not in the wild card. They're the top wild card plus a game. And other teams are going to have injuries. Other teams are going to add or not add or sell or whatever, and I don't know. Now is not the time to punt on the team in the season, in my opinion. It sucks. It ain't fun. But, like, no one knows the future. There's too many people telling you what the Yankees are going to do. The ones saying they're definitely going to make the postseason, that's not a guarantee either. The ones telling you the season's over, that's not a guarantee either. So Right now, it gets interesting. You can get off the ride if you want to, and the Yankees will always let you back on the ride. But I know their business model is to be there in October. Oh, that's a foul ball. That's a foul ball that is almost look like a homer to take the lead. Let's get back to the phones, 888-808-1019. Or do I got to break it here? I should break it here because then we can come back and then we'll get to 12 o'clock. Let's do a big shot of the night here. It's not going to be a Yankee, but when we come back, you'll do the big shot of the night, and we'll take more of your calls on the Yankees, where we're at with this season, where we're at with the manager, where we're at with players on this team, where we're at with the GM, what we're expecting at the deadline, what you think of the move so far, and what's next. I don't think they're beating the Rays. They're not ripping off 3 wins in a row against the Rays, so they got to split this series and then go on the road. And then I will say that the schedule does get softer in September, so they just got to keep their head somewhat above water in the wild card hunt. But right now, it's not looking like they're going to run away with the division or win the division. So it's taking a little bit of a different course, a winding road. Keith McPherson on the Fan. Big shot next. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back.
It's Boomer and Gio. Mornings on the Fan, 1019 FM.
I played for 3 ownership groups. Leon Hess here in New York, who I absolutely respected and admired.
Yeah.
Because of the way he treated my dad.
Mm-hmm.
My dad and he were World War II.
All right, yo. Let me see.
Step up to the plate with confidence with the Jeep brand's newest MVP, the all-electric Jeep Wagoneer S. Year after year, the Jeep brand has delivered game-changing technology and features to help keep you off the bench and on your next adventure. By blending thoughtful luxury capability and advanced.
Let me cut this down.
Jeep Wagoneer S is one key player.
Oh, hit my knee on that.
A big shot tonight ain't gonna be a Yankee. Let me look around the world, wide world of sports. We're gonna talk about the boy Christian Wilkins too. He's crazy. The boy is a suspect, a whole suspect. All right. That'll score another run. Tie game. We got a battle here, folks. Frankie Montas' night is done. Okay, now the Mets are losing. Do you think the Yankees will get a big fish in the trade market? Like somebody we're not thinking of, like a Paul Skeens? No. But like a Johan Duran, yeah. But they're gonna have to give to get. Okay. Oh my God, bro. Don't get me started on like Okay, tell us more about it.
Well, I got Doc Gooden's autograph for $40. I love meeting Doc. He's one of my heroes, and I had a good time.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you made the trip. What else you got for us on the Mets?
Well, I think the Mets more than offense. They need pitching help for the trade deadline. They need more bullpen help to help get to Diaz and maybe a starting pitcher.
Okay, I definitely think they're going to go after a starter. I don't think that they are confident with who they have right now going into the postseason. We saw what, kind of hurt them when they got to the NLCS last year. You need to have confidence in your starter because that can help your bullpen. I think the bullpen is shaped up pretty decent. You got the Gregory Soto move, but I expect another move, maybe two there, maybe a bat, depending on who's available. Maybe somebody to play the outfield. But, the rumors were that they are that people are checking in on their young infielders. Mauricio had a big weekend. Vientos with the grand slam. I feel like you can't move on from Brett Beatty, but we'll see here. I expect David Stearns to cook. There's a couple days left here. I expect a couple more moves. Thanks for the call, Stefan, 888-808-1019. Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like when I say the term shake the room, I feel like sometimes you have to shake the room by trading a guy that people think is safe. And it's got to be business. It can't be so personal. Shout out to my guy, David Rifkin. We were talking earlier about the Yankees. And I just think there's so much that the Yankees do off of like personal relationships. Boone's relationships with the players, keeping the players safe, protecting the players, never throwing the players under the bus. But it's business. If guys aren't performing, they shouldn't be playing. And, you can't do things for the sake of what you think is keeping the clubhouse together. You know what keeps the clubhouse together? Winning. So my guy David texted me. He's like, they shoved Jazz at third base for longer than they needed to because everybody loved DJ. And it was about, come on, let's get the most out of DJ. And let's see, DJ's hitting a little bit and let's drag this out. They kept throwing Mark Leiter Jr. in there in big spots to build his confidence, to build him up, right? And that's what I said. I'm like, bro, they are always doing stuff like this. And now with Goldie, right? Goldie had that throw on Friday night where I said, I was here Friday, I was at the game, and I'm not tripping off of it. He wasn't going to get Trey Turner, but then after the game, Aaron Boone kind of speaks in like as if he's Goldie, and he says, oh, well, you're Paul Goldschmidt, and you're going to try and make that throw. No, you were Paul Goldschmidt. You're 38, about to be. Did Goldie turn 38 yet? Anyway, I just feel like there's all this like talk about these guys and like who they are and what they are as if like they're automatic, and it's just false. And there's so much player protection, and like leaning on vets, and like I don't know, man. I'm like, enough. Nice guys finish last. Enough of the guys' feelings and doing things to protect guys and building guys up and having their backs. Like having your players' back seems to backfire on you now. So it's time for some tough love. It's time for some change. It's time for it to be cutthroat. It's time for them to play their best players all the time. It's time for them to trade some people that they don't need. And if that's what it's going to take to get the pieces that you do need, so be it. 888-808-1019. Padres making plays. Tatis is a hell of a right fielder. We'll come back. I'll say good morning on the other side. I will sprinkle in some more stuff. It's still 6-5. We got a break. Keith McPherson on the Fan. I'll be right back.
Baseball heartbreak, football glory. WFAN covers every win.
And yo, my bad. I muted the microphone. So you missed the big shot of the night. That's all. It was a quick segment, so no worries.
I always forget. I think you're talking to me. So,
No, I'm always on live.
I forget. But
Yeah, I'm always on live now. I'm always on live. Let's see. Should the Yankees trade for Tatis? Years ago, I was saying to get him, but he's never leaving there. They gave him that contract, and I'm sure he loves it out there. He looks like a Padre. He stays a Padre. Mets need another bullpen arm. I think they'll get one, maybe two. The make it happen Mets do have a chance to win. It's just a new game now. Tough to have a grand slam, put up 4, and then they respond with 5. But now it's your bullpen versus their bullpen. I think Cease is out of the game. Yeah, Cease is out of the game. So it's bullpen versus bullpen. Yeah, my bad on the audio. I had it muted because I was talking to Paulie about something off the record. I muted the audio. We came back, and I didn't have it unmuted. Audio not working. Can't hear you. Muted. Yeah, I know. All you missed was me giving CC Sabathia his flowers. You know, because with him making the Hall of Fame, they just brought up some of his old like Yankee moments, and like, man, I forgot like how much of a like actual dog he was. Like, and like that shit is infectious. Like having a big ass dude like CC like that on the mound in the clubhouse talking shit, barking, cursing at the other team, like that gives you just a different type of like team aura.
Good morning at 12 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti, and this report is brought to you by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Mark Vientos, a grand slam in the 5th inning, gave the Mets a 5-1 advantage, but Padres came back for 5 runs of their own in the bottom half of that inning as Frankie Montas started to melt, and then Huáscar Brazoban threw gas on the fire. Luis Ariz had a 2-run shot there, and then the Padres able to take the lead. Brett Beatty with a sac fly for the other Mets run. It's a game of bullpens now. 6-5 Padres in front of the Mets. They're in the top of the 6th in San Diego. Mets, of course, riding a 7-game win streak. Rays took out the Yankees 4-2. Cam Schlittler allowed 3 runs over 4 1/3, his first career loss. Bombers mustered just 6 hits, 3 of them coming in the first as they scored both runs that inning. Bases loaded walk. Blue Jays lost, so the Yankees remain 5.5 back. And the Jets turning some heads, doing individual tackling drills on the first day. They put on pads at camp. Aaron Glenn letting everyone know this isn't about comparisons with Bill Parcells or anyone. There's a new sheriff in town. The 83 degrees, clear skies, Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
Good morning, good morning. Vibing out. July 29th now. Keith McPherson on the fan. Watching the Met game on the live stream. 1,300 plus. Talking in the chat. Taking calls. 888-808-1019. At some point, we're going to talk about that boy Christian Wilkins. He's giving out pecs, not the pectorals. he's smooching God. I think that's hilarious, bro. I think that's hilarious. We'll talk about that in a bit. You know, we'll talk about Jerry Jones antagonizing Micah Parsons and how the Cowboys' offensive line is already in shambles. They've had some injury scares, and how, man, the Giants got a different vibe and wave around them this year. Like I said, they got some characters now. They got some different characters in the building. The stories are coming out, and now they got pads on. You just heard Aaron Glenn is Aaron Glenn, not Bill Parcells. It's looking different over there in Florham Park. They're hitting. Them boys hitting. They're doing drills. So, yeah, we'll start talking about some football in a little bit, but there's enough baseball stories There's enough conversation to go around just with the Yankee loss tonight. And even this Met game now, we're bottom 6 here. Padres still lead 6-5. So let's keep taking these Yankee calls. I want to hear from the Yankee fans and how you guys feel. I think I've been pretty clear. I haven't told you once this year that this is a World Series caliber team or World Series winning team. I told you that I was hurt when Cole went down, and that kind of, dropped the stock for me. But, I wasn't going to cry away a season. I was excited for the season. And they got off on a good start. But, I mean, how many times do they got to show you who they really are before you believe them? And I don't believe that there's enough available talent on the trade market to fix this team. And if Judge is compromised, GG's. If Judge can't play, and then, you got to put Stanton out there and do some other things, it might just get too wonky, man. But I expect them to be complete buyers and maybe sell off a little bit. I'm not selling Devin Williams. Like, you need somebody to close the games. I would sell Trent Grisham. I've been open about that. I would sell Cody Bellinger. Not Cody Bellinger, excuse me. No way am I selling Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger plays everywhere as a plus defender. That play he made tonight in left field, Dominguez is no shot. Dominguez makes that play. I kind of am looking at Cody Bellinger like he should play left field every day. I would trade Dominguez, though. He's available. Goldschmidt, he's available. How come Ben Rice wasn't available tonight? Robbie's in Lennox on the fan. What's up, Robbie?
That they weren't going to get anyone. And the biggest advantage of the night to me was Paul Goldschmidt striking out the bases on the first inning. Here's my question for you, okay? I think you had about, 37,000 people shaking their heads in the ninth inning, wondering why Ben Rice was not batting for Paul Goldschmidt. Can you please explain why a guy with 15 home runs, as opposed to a guy with 8 home runs, 37 RBIs, throwing August, all right, okay? This guy's done. Stick up for him. Why did Ben Rice not starting against the lefty today? No, excuse me, if it's the right-handed pitcher tonight. I know why. Because Paul Goldschmidt has good numbers against this guy. I'm so sick of the analytics. Well, who do you want? Okay, let me ask you a question. Who do you want tonight batting against the right-handed pitcher against Ben Rice or Paul Goldschmidt? Let's look at Paul Goldschmidt's numbers against righties this year. Can you please explain this to me?
No. At least give him the at-bat late. I understand the defense, right? Goldschmidt's defense at first, especially after Ben Rice had some trouble in Toronto, but I don't understand the kid. I don't understand the kid not getting in the game. I jokingly said on Twitter, "Oh, it's scheduled rest." You know how they do that. Scheduled rest day. You're completely. Because this is Paul Goldschmidt, Robbie. This is Paul Goldschmidt, and he's going to turn back the clock magically and be Paul Goldschmidt. Thanks for the call, man. I mean, last week I apologized to Paul Goldschmidt. Because after he struck out 3 times in the first game of the Toronto series and then they benched him the rest of the way, in my rant, in my misery, in my sadness over the fact that I knew we weren't going to be able to get the tiebreaker against Toronto, I was taking shots. Pew, pew. I was taking shots at everybody. And I said one line that ended up getting clipped and put on our social media where I said, Paul Goldschmidt, he's turning back into the guy that he was at the second half of last year. I'm over him. I basically said, like, in quotes, which I don't even remember because a lot of things you say you don't remember. When you're on the air for 3-5 hours, you don't remember exactly what you say until you see it written. I'm like, did I say it like that? But I said Paul Goldschmidt's effect has worn off for me. It's worn off. I think when I first saw him in spring training with his batting stance wearing pinstripes, I was like, ooh, Paul Goldschmidt. He's a Yankee. And he had some pop. But I told you guys last week, he's got no pop now. He's a singles hitter now. And if he's not a plus defender at first base, what are we doing? So my guy, Ryan Garcia, like I always tell you guys, I'm not on Fangraphs. I'm not on Baseball Savant. Like I don't do a Yankee podcast where I get in the weeds on those numbers, especially like as a radio host, you got to know what's going on with the Mets, with the Yankees, with the Jets, with the Giants. You got to know all these different leagues, whatever. I don't really have time to get that deep in the weeds. But I mean, we obviously know, how they platoon Rice and Goldie. I was expecting to see Rice at some point at the, and it wasn't the game wasn't out of reach, bro. I don't know. Anyway, Ryan Garcia, shout out to Ryan Garcia from Fireside Yankees. You guys know I've been supporting you since the beginning. Ryan Garcia writes, Aaron Boone needs to answer. about why Ben Rice didn't play today. I need to know why a team in the middle of a free fall doesn't have its best 9 out there. The impact of a manager is often overstated in a negative manner, but that's a gaffe that cannot happen. I think we're all, even Big Mac. I saw Big Mac tweet, no Rice for Goldie here. We're all sitting at home thinking some of the same things. And then, I don't know, did he answer it in the post game? Hey, is Ben Rice okay? Is he unavailable? Ben Rice is just, I don't know. Is it scheduled rest for Ben Rice? Who's what, 26? Is it, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answers for you folks. He went 0 for 3 yesterday, and Paul Goldschmidt pinch hit for him. But yeah, then Ryan goes on to say, I got to get the numbers. I get the splits from Ryan's tweet that he put out after about, like, and you guys know the numbers, man. It doesn't matter. You know what Goldie is hitting versus what Rice is hitting. It's like you just go down. You go down without doing little things that we at least think could help you. And so it just makes us all kind of like wonder, like, what is going on, bro? Are we fighting to win, or are we just okay taking L's? Yeah, Brian says Ben Rice has to be hurt. He has to be. No, he's not hurt. Aaron Boone was waiting for an at-bat, then it didn't happen. So yeah, I don't know. Not that it would have changed, but like are we trading Ben Rice? He's not hurt. It wasn't scheduled rest. He's just out of the game completely. Can't get in it back. Like, we've seen him do some things, right? We saw him win a game for us in Toronto. No, it doesn't matter. The game's over. It never happened. Anyway, 888-808-1019. As we are in the bottom 6 here with 2 outs, Jake Cronenworth steps to the plate. Runner on first, runner on second. Padres still lead 6-5. Let's continue with the Yankee calls. Joe, Long Beach, on the Fan in New York.
Hey, what's up, Keith?
Good evening.
Dontrell was the last person that I remember. American.
Dontrell, yeah, D-Train. Yeah, man.
No doubt.
I was gonna say David Price.
Oh, there you go. Tampa.
And
I want to talk about Hope because I wanted to give him some props in this, right? I know he's struggling right now.
mm-hmm.
He's a shortstop on the league. When we make the playoffs, we got to talk about every game in the 162 game season. That's what New York Sports Radio is about. But the Yankees just said, hey, get us to the playoffs, and if we can perform there, that's why I think that we're going to be backing up. And they're doing it anymore because when you need them, did you forget about the big hit he had to win one of the games for us?
Not at all. Not at all. He batted .286 through the postseason. He had over an 800 OPS. He hit a grand slam. He hit a grand slam in the first game that they won, and the only game that they would win in the World Series. I think that's insane, bro. I'm in the stadium around people like, yo, this kid makes $800,000 a year. You're booing him like he's a big money guy not performing. He's 24. Like some of y'all aren't getting it.
That's when I want to see him get the yips out of the way, get it all out of the way now during the regular season. Because then when it's September, that's when he can make a name for himself once again.
Yeah, I mean, and that's how the Yankees feel too. Like, they're not quitting on the kid. He's homegrown. They drafted him. He's cost effective. He puts in the work. I mean, he's had some homers in this last week, and yeah, he plays every day, and they say he recovers well, and they believe he's an elite defender, and he's going to go through a stretch of making elite defensive plays. Thanks for the call, Joe. 888-808-1019. So yeah, Ryan Garcia, who I was talking about, he said the rule of not starting Paul Goldschmidt against right-handed pitchers who don't have reverse splits needs to be one that we follow to absurd extents. Max Goodman reports, if you're wondering why Ben Rice isn't hitting for Paul Goldschmidt here, Pete Fairbanks has reverse splits. He's much better against lefties. So there's a rhyme and reason behind it. We don't know everything. And I don't know what to tell you guys, man. It just sucks. They have too many good players. They were in the World Series last year. The American League is – we just think the Tigers are winning the American League. They have struggled recently. We just think that the Astros are going to do it based off of a few of the players on the Astros having championship rings, their fans being used to it. We don't know that. The Toronto Blue Jays, do I think that the Blue Jays are going to be able to do it? I don't. The Yankees are supposed to figure it out. So I expect them to figure it out. I'm not getting off the roller coaster yet. I'll be there. I've been to Yankee Stadium for the wild card when the wild card was a 1-game set, when it was just a do or die. You know, if the Yankees end up in a 3-game set on the road, I might look into going on the road. Every season is not the same. They are not locked into, oh, well, they got to win the AL. They got to win the American League East. They got to have the best record. That's not what it's looking like, folks. So buckle your seatbelts. Hold on tight. The roller coaster is up and down, but now's not the time to stop the ride. You can't stop the ride. The deadline hasn't even happened yet. What type of fans are quitting on the team before the deadline happens? They're going to add a couple more arms. They're going to get some arms back. Let's see what happens with Judge. Let's see if this team can rally, and their schedule does get softer. They got to survive August. We'll talk about the schedule in a minute. Let me get through these calls faster. Phil in Manhattan on the Fan next. What's up, Phil?
Hello. I was at the game tonight at Yankee Stadium, and to me, the turning point of the game, the bad turning point for the Yankees, was the bottom of the 8th inning when Giancarlo Stanton, before about 40,000 screaming fans, hysterical fans, strikes out with runners at first and second. I mean, that was just one of the most awful strikeouts I've seen. I've seen a lot of strikeouts. And that was a bad strikeout. And I'll tell you something else about the Yankees. I associate them now with the word mediocrity. Complete mediocrity. They are a 500 team, give or take a few percentage points.
Since May, yeah. Thanks for the call, Phil. Yeah, I mean, we can blame it on Stan. You know what I blame it on? They had him doing too much pregame. They had him out there in right field catching the ball and throwing it in. It's not his routine. That's not what he does. He's supposed to focus on his at-bats. He's been going good. Now y'all want to cook Stan? He's been hitting home runs. He's been hitting his groove. Now you want to change up his routine and have him out there catching fly balls? Don't. Are y'all dead ass? We need Stan in I thought we did. I thought we crossed that bridge already, yo. What are we doing? We don't need Stanton to play defense at all. We don't need it. There is no getting a return on investment. It's foolish to me. He could tighten up, just warm it up. I think this is a guy that can't run to second base. The ball is going to the warning track. He can't go to second base. No, I don't think that's a good option. I'd rather you call up Spencer Jones with his back spasms before I see any lineup with Stanton in right field. And people are reading into it saying, oh, it's because Judge is not going to be able to come back and play defense at all. They're getting him ready, right? Because Judge is going to have to be the DH. Now, I wouldn't read too far into that either. I think it's a precaution thing. And I go back to, like I mentioned, remember when they told us Peraza was going to start taking fly balls? I don't think we ever actually saw that. Oh, they're doing it again to Juan Soto, bro. Let me talk about this sidebar. We'll get back to the Yankee stuff. I don't know. And I've done my fair share of Juan Soto hating. I've stopped because it's corny at this point. We're so far. He's a Met. And I don't even want people thinking that I care. I don't. The Yankees have their own problems. And none of them include having Juan Soto or not having Juan Soto. He's so far out of the Yankees picture. But I watch his at-bats. And I've watched all his at-bats from last year. And I've watched probably 90% of his at-bats this year. This is a guy that has an eye and knows the strike zone, his strike zone, better than anybody. And I feel like there's the God complex of some of these umpires to show him up. Where borderline calls, and he's getting it from the fans. But I feel like, and let me go look at this, where we need the ABS system. Automatic balls and strikes. ABS ASAP. So Juan Soto can use that. We need this immediately for this postseason this year for this October. I feel like they have, I don't know, I don't want to say it's like they have I feel like they're working against this guy, like almost intentionally, like, yo, we're gonna show this guy up like we're in control. Like Juan Soto knows the strike zone, yo. Juan Soto, there's too many borderline calls, there's too many times they're taking the bat out of his hands that I'm seeing, where now it's like, if I'm sure there's a Met fan, a young Met fan that can go back, and you don't even have to go back the whole season, just go back this month of how many calls have been borderline balls or strikes where they're going against Juan Soto. And I'm like, is it, this guy got snubbed from the All-Star game. There's all this talk about jealousy. There's all this talk about, and I'm like, yo, it's not right. Like when you watch a baseball game, you want them to get the calls correct. And that's what the ABS system will do. Juan Soto has struck out twice. He just struck out on 3 pitches. That ball, I'm looking at it, that ball is high. That ball is out of the zone. That ball is high. Called strike 3 on a slider high. Like, that's corny. Like, if we're getting to the point where one of the best players in the game, that ball is high. They're showing the replay. I knew, and now I went to MLB, that ball is high for strike 3. And even the pitcher's like, knew he got one. Like one of the, and this happens to Judge with the low strike call. But like, something has to be done about this. Juan Soto is getting absolutely jobbed. Juan Soto is, and then like that makes him have to swing at pitches out of the zone. The Met fan should be louder about this. I don't know if this is something that has come up on WFAN too much. I don't know if Evan has, been back and talked about it, but it's something that I've noticed with Juan Soto's strike zone. Let me see. Going back to his second at bat, he had a 8-pitch at bat, and the 8th pitch, that was a called strike, a knuckle curve, that ball's outside with Dylan Cease. And it was almost, and it was egregious because the second called strike was the same pitch outside. So like there's a little thing for somebody to do. I bet you it would hit. I don't know. Mets Muse or Sleeper Mets or one of these Met fan podcasts. Just go back to Juan Soto's strikeouts, called strikes, his at-bats. They have an expanded strike zone for this guy where they're not doing him any favors. 888-808-1019. Back to the Yankees talk. My guy Bruce is in Flushing. Bruce, you're back on the fan.
Juan Soto, myself, I think the umpires in general do it to a lot of ball players. The umpires have no idea of the strike zone. If you're game after game watching the game.
Yeah, it happened to us in Toronto with Manny Gonzalez. Tonight in the Orioles broadcast I was talking about, on Awful Announcing, they posted it. Kevin Brown and Ben McDonald, they were like you couldn't set it on a tee in the heart of the plate any better. Like, how do you miss that? Like, they called it a ball. It was center, middle. So if you have the automatic balls and strike system in spring training of this year, if you could roll it out for the All-Star game, what are we waiting on, Rob Manfred? You want them to lock out? He's more focused on other things. We'll get to that too.
In the old days, not even the old days, just 15, 20 years ago, when if you were a star, you got the benefit of the ball. I mean, they never pulled a coach fish the way Bob. You saw Dino's calls in the World Series when Bobby Woodman struck out, but they gave deference to that.
And that's how, honestly, it should be. I mean, and we see that in basketball all the time, right? Like with Jalen Brunson not getting the superstar calls. Like, he's supposed to get some of these calls, and then they say he's a flopper. I don't know. But then, LeBron will get his calls. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander damn sure gets all his calls. I don't know, man. It's and then people tell you, oh, don't complain about the refs or the It's a part of the game. It's a human element. It's human error. Yeah, but it's stupid. We're in 2025, almost 2026. Get it right. Mm-hmm.
Number one, there is no way now that you can play Sergeant Jones for a very 3 years.
Okay.
Number one, I don't trust the Yankees
Yankee diagnosis on Judge. I mean, you see the history of them not getting the right balls medically. First of all, it boggles my mind. This guy had a plexus strain, and they played him in the outfield Friday night.
That's what I say. I'm like, I haven't been on, but like once I learned that, I was at the game Friday. If he tells you I don't know. I don't know what the Yankees think sometimes. Like, you gonna hide it? You thought he was gonna sleep it off? Were you trying to hide it from the public? Like, that's reckless, man.
So that's why you need to keep Spencer Jones. Because if this is going to tear at some point in the future, you want his back in a lineup. And I agree with you. If this back, I assume back stands last 1, 2, 3 days. If he's healthy, he should be in the Yankee lineup tomorrow. Without a doubt. Second point, Volpe again went down to one knee, the field ground ball, and that was one of the reasons why he couldn't get it. Whether he was throwing him
Yeah.
at first base, maybe it's debatable, but
Mechanics,
if I'm Boone,
fundamentals.
you got Rosario, you put the shortstop on it.
You know, I thought about it too, because I was somebody who was saying, hey, bring a veteran in here to challenge him, to also work with him. But I don't think that's what they're looking to do with Rosario. I'm not against it, though. Something has to give it because everything else isn't working.
I mean, two guys on here a week ago on FAN, she said, well, if you sit down Volpe, we have to play shortstop. When I answer, like, it's not like, people, I have to let some people say, well, you have to play shortstop in a couple years when he's showing the
He came up a shortstop, no? And like, not for nothing, if Volpe is in his head so much, and if Volpe is struggling to field the ball because he's thinking and he's not, like, you got to stick to your footwork, your fundamentals, your mechanics to perform in those moments. And if it's getting away from him because he's under so much pressure because the fans are booing him, he's hearing it, he wants to play well so bad that, like, I don't know, then yeah, you need to spell him. You need to have an option. You need to have Rosario go ahead and maybe a game or two, man. It was not going to be Peraza because Peraza can't hit, but Rosario is a veteran. Rosario can hit. I'm not against him giving Volpe a day, especially in this 4-game set here. Why not?
Yeah, I don't know if we spoke about it before, but did you speak about the Clase incident when Major League Baseball?
Yeah, I just was like, Clase is one of the best. And as they have now put together the videos of his first pitches and at-bats and how far are they off, it goes back to what we were talking about with the automatic balls and strike system. These umpires are so bad, he can't make a borderline pitch. It was like he was missing the strike zone by feet to make sure that the bet's cashed, to make sure that that first pitch that he threw was a ball. And I don't know how these rings work, but I assume there are multiple people putting in bets. And I don't know.
It goes back to not punishing Ohtani for what he didn't do.
Sure.
Right? If I'm big enough, I say, if I'm big enough, if Ohtani got away with it, why can't I get away with it?
Sure. There was enough of a paper trail, enough breadcrumbs where we were like, what? Like, Ohtani is completely absolved of this, like no wrongdoing, not tied to it at all. And now, all these different players are popping up. It's interesting. It is a story. Clase isn't getting traded now. And as things are popping up, it's like, wow, this many of his pitches, like I'm telling you, like there was a pitch that almost hit the grass. You know how there's obviously there's the dirt in the batter's box, but there's like the half circle in front of the plate. Major league pitchers don't almost hit the grass, like not even make the dirt. He threw a pitch that was like an inch away from hitting the grass. I'm like, he spiked the ball to make sure that it was a ball, because these umpires are so terrible that if you throw a borderline pitch that's a ball, they might call it a strike. That blows everybody's bet. Thanks for the call, Bruce. Isn't baseball amazing? It is something, man. We're gonna be in an interesting spot when we don't have it. I'm working on expanding my brand. I've been telling you guys about my years DJing. I'm gonna get back on the ones and twos. I gotta do some fitness content. Somebody in the chat was like, what's your diet? What's your workout regimen? I'm like, when we don't have baseball anymore, I'm just gonna become a DJ and a fitness model. Both things that I've done before, but I need to expand. I can't just be a Yankee fan on the fan talking about baseball. Yeah, I need some other hobbies. I need some other pastimes when they take away America's pastime. Like if it's coming out that Rob Manfred was in the clubhouse with the Phillies and it's getting to the point where the conversations that they are having are so contentious that Bryce Harper stands up and tells the commissioner, get the F out of our clubhouse. Like how do we get here? How are we here? Like Rob, like the visual of Bryce Harper getting in Rob's face, and Rob does not care. He's a G like that. I'll give him credit. Like we are watching Manfred League baseball. All of these things that go on, this is Rob Manfred's doing. And supposedly he fought back, like, no, I'm not getting out. I don't gotta do anything that you gotta say, bro. I run all this. I don't answer to you. You go talk to Tony Clark. I answer to the owners. So yeah, man. The salary cap. Supposedly, though, it's the Boris Kleins and the big money guys that care about this. And supposedly the lower level guys, well, it's not going to make much of a difference to them. But I think we're just guaranteed to end up in some type of a work stoppage. They're going to agree to disagree. And I think all of this stuff that you're hearing and that it's getting leaked, it's not a coincidence either. It's been going on for weeks from the All-Star game stuff that was coming out. And they do need a salary cap. There are other, not even, and people will talk about it. They need to start with a salary floor, the minimum spend. And then there's other people that are going to tell you, hey, the Hal Steinbrenners of the world support a salary cap. So I don't know where we're going with this. It's going to take them a while to figure this whole thing out. But like if Passan is reporting it, it happened. If baseball is talking about it, it's a thing. It's a thing. So enjoy the second half of this season and next year. And I don't know. And like at this rate, as I'm talking about expanding into other things, it's competitive out here as far as attention. And baseball is healthy. Baseball's in a good spot. I felt like the All-Star game was entertaining. The World Series was the dream World Series. I've told you guys that. Like the dream for Major League Baseball is to have Dodgers Yankees every year. It was huge. I don't think it's going to be Dodgers Yankees this year or next year. And if they lock out, that's going to hurt them with the young audience. These young kids will watch people sit on a Twitch live stream and play Grand Theft Auto for 4 hours. They'll watch guys sit and live stream anything. iShowSpeed goes across the world racing people, and they watch that. More viewers watching that than watching the Rays play the Yankees right now. So I don't know, man. I root for baseball. I want baseball to survive and be in the future, but they always find a way to, kind of cut their nose to spite their face. I think we're headed in that direction. 888-808-1019. I'm headed in the direction of the next break. Keep McPherson on the fan. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back. Yankees are 11-19 in games. It's the second time since. Yo, I'm having more issues than the Yankees tonight. I got the camera tweaking out, mic muted. I gotta do better. I'll do better than the next hour and a half I got left. Let's see what else. I already talked about the Fire Cashman banner. We already talked about Class A. Let me see what you guys are talking about. If there's anything worth bringing to the airwaves in the chat, I will. So, tell me something cool. Maybe I gotta cook up a tell me something cool. I'm gonna start talking football in a minute, though. Clark Schmidt got some good news. Oh, I got a couple some cool things to report. The Mets got to go get Sandy Alcantara. Oh, we still got to talk about Christian Wilkins. Hey, what is wrong with Buddy? What is wrong with him? I got to talk about it. It's just going to be funny. All right. I got a couple things for tell me something cool. And I'm gonna cook up some Jet stuff. Mets going quietly into the night. They're down to their last 3 outs. This is a back-breaking loss if they lose 6-5. All right, here we go. We're coming back.
And TuneIn apps. Yeah. Let me guess. Fire Cashman, Boone sucks.
You hate Anthony Volpe. This team's not going anywhere. Sell at the trade deadline. 888-808-1019. Keith McPherson on the fan. I'm waiting for this Mets game to end so we could at least share in our misery together. Misery loves company. It's not over yet, but the Mets are down to their last 3 outs. And if they lose this game 6-5 after leading 5-1 to end their 7-game win streak, there's going to be some misery shared across New York City. We'll get there, though. I'm not wishing that for you. I'm just saying if it goes down, I'll be on air. Keith McPherson on the fan till 2 a.m. talking to the Yankee fan about the game tonight. Frustrating loss because they put up 2 to answer back in the first inning, and then they do nada, nothing, zilch. Can't figure it out the rest of the way. Some singles, some walks, no extra base hits, no homers. And, you know, this team lives and dies by the homer. And they don't have the home run leader on the team. Not the home run leader in Major League Baseball, but their home run leader, the AL home run king. Who, not for none, Cal Raleigh might, I hate to even say it, Cal Raleigh is what, 22 homers away from catching, like, that's insane. They need to stop pitching to him, honestly. Can they do that? Can they walk him? He's less. He's got 41. 22 homers away from breaking Judge's record. Yikes. There's plenty of time for that, too. There's plenty of time for Cal Raleigh. No. And Judge is like, Judge not being available. He's at 37. He's going to stay at 37. So that triple crown, throw that out the window. That triple crown is about to go out the window. I don't know, man. When it rains, it pours, it seems. You know, with the Yankees, it'll be a sunny day like it was Sunday, and you get a win, and then they come back tonight, and you're reminded, man, this team has a lot of holes, and they might not be able to fill them at this deadline. So right now, confidence is fading, but I give you my take. My take is don't put Stan in right field. It's dumb. Like, this is a guy that you need in October. This is a guy that you can count on in October. You're going to play around with his health? I wouldn't do that. But with Judge, you know, I did say as well, it's not like Judge is Mr. October. It's not like Judge carries the team in October. So, I mean, I guess you're losing Judge for this 10 days. And if he's got a DH for the regular, like, whatever, there's actually more hitters and bats in this lineup. They just got to get going. They got to repair the bullpen. Help is on the way. Coming off the IL, and I do expect them. Go out there and get Ryan Helsley. Go out there and get David Bednar. Go out there and get Yohan Duran. You didn't have to give up anything to get Ahmed Rosario and Ryan McMahon. So I expect one of those high leverage relievers to come through. And when you pair those guys up with Tim Hill and Luke Weaver and Devin Williams, and maybe you get another guy that's not as high leverage, but somebody that can take some innings off of the rest of these guys that are overworked and overused, there's a different pathway here. So what I said, adversity has hit the Yankees completely this year between injuries and losing streaks and scoreless streaks and errors and his guys underperforming. But then they still have so many games this year that, oh, that should have been on the championship DVD. Oh, that was a crazy win. That was a comeback win. That was a walk-off win. That was a blowout win. So if they have that in them, you can't quit on them, and they're not going to quit. They're gonna buy at the deadline, and they know that for them to do the business that they talk about, that they, you know, imagine they got to be in October. They got to get to the World Series, and they're not punting on another year of, these Yankees together. Now it sucks. They are 11-19 against the AL East, and what that stat tells you is that like this is one of their down years. You know, that stat alone. When, I looked at what Katie Sharp wrote, that stat alone puts them in the company of the 2016 Yankees. And it's the second time since division realignment in 1994 that they went 11-19 or worse in their first 30 against the division. So they are not, the kings of the AL East. They haven't lost the division yet. But I think this year is looking like maybe a wild card entry. And we've seen teams get hot in the wild card. We've seen teams, figure it out that way. And maybe that's what they got to do. 888-808-1019 as I go back to check the scores and check the standings. We'll get another call in here. Let's go to Jim out on Long Island. What's up, Jim?
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. So basically, we could go over so many different things that what the Yankees should do, what they can do, and what they can't do. And it starts with accountability. It starts from the top with the ownership. It starts with the general managership. And it starts with the coach. And basically, all these players they have are major league talented ball players. They're capable of bunting. They're capable of doing hit and run. They're capable of stealing. We all know they could hit home runs. But there's no accountability when a guy goes 0 for 47 and the fans are ragging on him, who I hold the fans accountable too. Because when a team is losing in Miami, nobody goes to the games. No, the stands are filled every night at Yankee Stadium, whether they win or lose. Okay? The tickets are still selling. And in order to win, you have to regress a little bit. You have to have a manager that gets in their face, gets under their skin, and said, hey, look, you need to play better. You can't make excuses because excuses don't win championships. And it only leads to just morale. There's no morale, there's no control in the clubhouse, and there's no accountability. Now, you could say you could drop Volpe, put him in the minor leagues, let him get his confidence back, 300 because he's facing minor league talent, and then he'll come up in 2 weeks and he's just going to hit. It's not going to happen. And what Boone has to do is get under these guys' skin, have a meeting, and say, what do you guys want to accomplish out of the season? Do you want to just give up and fold? Do you want to make more moves? And the Yankees were always, the last 8 years of under Boone, were always 1 or 2 players away from winning the World Series. They never got Verlander when he was the free agent. They never got Cole before he went to Houston. It starts with the ownership. This guy said it years ago, Hal said it, that he does not want to go over the tax threshold.
Thanks for the call, Jim. Yeah, I mean, you said a lot there, and I'll let you, run. And I'll say this, though. We know that, right? We kind of know, and I've brought this up a bunch. Hal came out when the beard policy got its own press conference and said, I don't believe that we have to spend the most money to field the best team. And that has already blown up in their faces because you should have went out and bought a third baseman at least instead of going with Oswald Peraza hurt or Oswaldo Cabrera hurt. Oswald Peraza can't hit. DJ Old can't physically even play the position. They're not going to change that mentality. The mentality is, hey, we think that we can do both. We've spent enough money. We have one of the higher payrolls, but we need homegrown talent, and they have a mix of both. But then also, when you talk about Boone and the mentality and the morale, they're like, I have said this, and I'm tired of saying it. It is obvious. Everybody is judgy and hammy and cabby and Wellesley, and it's just like this culture of like, we're good. And they aren't the last to find out. They're the last to admit, you suck right now. You're being compared to the Rockies and White Sox. Through this stretch, you haven't been consistently good enough. But you look in the mirror and you tell yourself, we're the New York Yankees. We're Paul Goldschmidt. We're, you know what I'm saying? Where Anthony Volpe is elite. And it is worn us all out, man. But when you use the example of the Miami Marlins, come on, bro. I mean, the Miami Marlins beat us in the World Series in 2003, but they don't have a culture of winning. They don't have a fan base. And when you compare Yankee Stadium to Marlins Park, have you been down there, or Lone Depot Park or whatever they call it now? It's so out of the way. People aren't going there. Yankee Stadium, anybody can get to Yankee Stadium in Manhattan that's visiting. I drive an hour from Hoboken to go to 40, 50 games a year. And there are a lot of people that drive from further. It's a different kind of thing. And they always spend money and do have star players. Kyle Stowers was the all-star from the Marlins this year. Augustin Ramirez is one of their better players that the Yankees gave them for Jazz Chisholm's. Completely different thing. So you can't blame people for going to the ballpark. Even me, what I said, I'm going to go and enjoy the summer. I'm going to go enjoy being with the bleacher creatures, being with the terrace squad, being with the season ticket holders, seeing some of the people that work for the Yankees, like, it's what we do, homestand, but they got to play better. And I don't know what it's going to take. I say shake the room, send somebody packing. You did it to Jordan Montgomery in 2022. It ultimately didn't work, but shake the room so it's not so much of this country club, this laissez-faire attitude, this participation trophy era Yankees where they can just show up and do anything. They can show up for, a game like tonight where they score 2 runs and then put nothing. You're like, nobody's mad. Nobody's mad because how can you get mad? That's not the vibe. The vibe is now we have this nice clubhouse. Like, you guys saw Luka there today. Luka Doncic pulled up, and Luka was there really because of Jordan Brand. And Luka's like on the cover of Muscle and Fitness or something, like the new slim Luka. He's been in the gym because everybody said he was fat, right? That's why the Mavericks traded him. Yeah, he was there because Judge is a Jordan Brand athlete. Judge gave him a bat and some cleats. And Jazz Chisholm is also a Jordan Brand athlete. And it's New York, so, they had him pull up. But you see Luka and his dad and his team, they're all in the Yankee clubhouse. The Yankees have a brand new clubhouse. I've been down there. They have like a little barbershop area. They have like a little diner area. They've got remember when Hal was talking about, sleeping pods? Like, they have a state-of-the-art, they have a luxury clubhouse compared to the Marlins or what the A's play in Sacramento, or, even teams in their division. The Rays play in the Yankees state-of-the-art spring training facility. They don't even have their own spot. So I just think that there's this air around the Yankees of we are the Yankees. You're not the Yankees, though. Oh, did Mauricio get that? He did. That's clutch. As the Met fans in the building, I don't know if you guys can hear them clapping in the background. I ain't clapping, but I'm watching. In the top of the ninth, with 1 out, Ronnie Mauricio said, "You're also not trading me. I've come into my own in these last couple weeks." La Bamba squad. Wow. Between Vientos and Mauricio tonight, you can't trade these guys. They're getting it done. That's a homer to tie it now. Let's see what happens in the rest of the way here. But that's a huge clutch homer from the young guy Mauricio to tie the game. And I'll give the Mets some credit right now. The Mets are looking like one of the better teams in baseball. Even Pete Alonso tonight with the glove and the defense, and they're looking like more of a complete team as they have gotten back their rotation. The rotation that they envisioned, as they will add probably a couple more arms or pieces here, as there's reports out there today that they're locked in on getting Sandy Alcantara. And now they have a mix of obviously a high payroll, the richest player in the sport, and they're still paying some guys that aren't there. But they have a mix now of young guys. That's huge for Ronnie Mauricio. A mix of young guys that are cost effective, that are actually getting it done and contributing. Now, the Mets have a tougher route in the National League, but they just went through their bad stretch and came out of it. The Yankees have just been in a bad stretch and can't come out of it. What pulls them out of it? Aaron Judge going down certainly doesn't help. What pulls them out of it? The manager telling everybody in the postgame, "No, this is fine. They're good. They did this." I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't have the answers, but I give credit. I can tip my cap to the make it happen Mets. They make it happen again. Tie game. New game here. Let's see what happens the rest of the way. 888-808-1019. Let's go to Bobby in Manhattan on the Fan next.
Hey, Keith, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Bobby?
Good, thank you. I was at the game tonight, and I just want to say is that, Monday night in New York, you don't expect much, and the stadium during the game, Billy's stands before then, where they had your jersey and the Raptors, obviously, were all electric. The fans are there, and the team is just so limp. The only runs that we get out of there are off walks out of Radisson, which is just so pathetic. But it made me sick to my stomach to begin with. I almost threw up just watching this stuff.
Yeah, and it's too hot out there for that. It's too hot to be sitting out there, and they put up zeros from the second inning on.
Oh, yeah. It's like we're scared to hit the ball once guys are on base. It's ridiculous. But what makes me more sick is listening to these guys on the fan yell about Boone. Everyone forgets that the past, 2 out of the last 3 years, Boone has been running for manager of the year. He's dealt with all these injuries that we've had, and he's somehow managed to put a team together throughout an entire season that has made it to the playoffs. Not only made it to the playoffs, it made it deep. And I think it's more these trainers we have. I'm curious your thoughts on that. It goes back to this guy Gene Monahan back in 2015, even earlier, where there's always these soft tissue injuries that we have going, and it's never hard contact things, and our team's always hurt, and we have to have our manager save us. I think it's more of a Cashman problem than anything like that.
There you go. I was about to say Gene Monahan, Stevie Donahue. Are we about to start going at those guys? It's more Cashman, bro. It's Cashman and how he built the team. Aaron Boone can only put out who he has, and I swear we all know they work together. Aaron Boone is doing what Cashman and the group and the Yankee brass want him to do, but Aaron Boone's always going to wear it because, as I talk about how he answers the media, that's what they want him to do. That is what he's been told to do. That's the main function of his job. But I understand you defending Boone, but it's hard to defend Boone and Cashman. Cashman has to cook. Cashman traded Carlos Carrasco today, I guess, to get his money off the books, whatever. Go get some bullpen help. Go get another impact bat if Judge is going to be on the IL. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? We are in a bad one, and there's no way to break out of it. Shake the room. Something has to happen to put a shock into these guys. Thanks for the call, Bobby. And, reporting from the stadium. Yeah, somewhere if you look up in Billy's, there's a McPherson jersey. But I ain't retired yet. I'll be back. I might be back tomorrow. I said one day I'll be up in the rafters. One day. Not yet. I'm still very much in my Billy's prime. I show you how to do this, son. I do that more than I do BABIP and XFIP and WOBA and weighted runs created plus. I don't do all that. I do shot beer. That's what I do.
It's the way to do it there.
Billy's, Twins, Stands, the dugout, La Bodega, Yankee Town. You know what I'm saying? And we'll get back to that. And that's what I'm saying. I go out there for the vibe, for the culture, for Yankee Land, the fans, for some people that, hey, I only see you at 161st and River. I know where to find you. You know where to find me. We just need to find a way to win. We need these guys to pick it up. I scream that on the fan. If they actually got down to business, cut out all the feelings, cut out all the personal protection, whatever, and got down to brass tacks, either you're getting it done or you're not. Shake the room. Play your best 9. Put guys in the game that are going to get it done. If you're not getting it done, you're not playing. Win games, and this fan base is behind you. This fan base can help win you, some games, will you to victory. Okay, here it is. Look at this. Is this a pinch hit for Candelita? Oh, my God. Bogarts singles to get on. And look at the drama here. Jose Iglesias with a pinch. Is he pinch hitting? Because I haven't been paying that much attention as I'm going on my Yankee soapbox. But I think this is a pinch hit here for Jose Iglesias in the 9th. Have him do it to you. No, he's been in the game. No, this is a pinch hit. He replaces Sheets. Oh, he gets the job done. Oh, this is great. We got a break. 888-808-1019. Iglesias gets on, and he does it in a way like he always does, right? He just puts the ball in the play. Gregory Soto, the newest Met, can't field his position, turns around, fires it to Lindor, pulls him off the bag. Bogarts is safe at second. Iglesias is on. 2 on, no outs, bottom of the 9th, tied 6-6 here. The make it happen Mets versus the Padres with the 7-game win streak on the line. Keith McPherson on the fan for one more hour. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back.
It's BT and Sal. Middays 10 to 2 on the Fan. 1019 FM. Last night,
Got him at third.
Yep.
Was he trying to steal? What happened here?
No, it was a bunt, but he bunted it right towards third.
Oh, and he made the
Soto made the play.
Okay.
I mean, that's
They're trying to
you want to
make up
bunt towards third, but you got to get it further than that.
Yeah, that's not a good bunt. You got to get that down the line. Yo, I see y'all in here. I'm watching this Met game. 2 on, 1 out. Tyler Johnson at the plate. And Gregory Soto redeemed himself some, making that play at third after not being able to make the play at second. He's in a jam here with the game on the line. I didn't realize Iglesias bunted there. So they had back-to-back bunts.
That was the one Soto threw away.
Yeah, I thought he actually swung. I didn't realize he laid down the bunt. I thought he swung and just struck him out. Bryce Johnson. I'm like, I don't know this guy. Yes, I would like to see the Mets lose tonight, so that we can suffer together. I wouldn't mind it. But I mean, if the Padres don't get it done, extras. Yo, thanks for the super chat, Beavis Lee Ray. I'm about fed up with the Yankees bullshit with a P. Yeah, I think we all are. But like as baseball fans, we are trained to know it ain't over till it's over. So like you gotta be careful with your takes. You gotta be careful with your finite responses of what is or what isn't, because nobody knows what is or what isn't. It's way foul. What is Soto doing? Yeah, bro. Like I said, I'm screwing up like the Yankees are screwing up tonight. I'm having audio issues, camera issues. So what the hell, bro, yapping about? But hey, while y'all ain't here on YouTube, hit like. I don't think it matters if you hit like on Twitter. I don't really know.
Good morning. At 1 o'clock, I'm Marco Belletti, and this report is brought to you by Police Officers Right to Sue.com. Good one in San Diego. We're in the bottom of the ninth. The Padres trying to walk it off on the Mets after Ronnie Mauricio with a solo shot in the top half of the ninth tied this game up at 6. Gregory Soto came on, immediately got in trouble. Xander Bogaerts with a single. Jose Iglesias laid down a bunt that Soto threw away, but able to get the next 2 outs, including an out at third base on another bunt attempt. But Elias has just ripped one into the gap.
Oh, that's going to score him.
On one hop, and the throw home is going to be late. So the Padres walking it off on Elias Diaz RBI single. They finish off the Mets 7-6 in the bottom of the ninth in this one. It's not clapping, just for the record. Padres winning comes to an end. Mark Vientos had a grand slam. Ronnie Mauricio with a game-tying home run. The Padres scoring 5 runs in the 5th inning off Frankie Montas and Huáscar Brazoban. And here Gregory Soto gives up the game winner, Elias Diaz, with the RBI single. Rays would still the Yankees 4-2. Drew Rasmussen walked in 2 runs in the first. Settled down from there as the Bombers mustered 6 hits all night, 3 coming in the first. Cam Schlittler allowed 3 runs, walked 4 over 4 1/3 in his first loss of the year. Good news was the Blue Jays lost. The Bombers remained 5.5 back. 83 degrees, clear skies, Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
That was obviously me clapping. I told you misery loves company. Come on down. Win streak over. The Mets don't make it happen. The Padres walk it off. What a game. What a game. I enjoyed that one. That was fun. It had heroics. Like, oh my, you got to cue up the oh my God for me. And Jack, I know you're a Mets fan, and I know we had some other Mets fans out there. Probably, I don't even know who's out there. Ray, who's out there?
A lot of miserable Met fans right now.
The Met fans in the building. This place is overrun with Met fans, so I had to clap it up for the hating Yankee fans that just want y'all to come this way. You had a nice little run, but that's a tough one. You might win some, but you just lost one. Oh my God. Jose Iglesias scores the winning run. Oh my God. They pinch hit him and he laid down a bunt. Oh my God. That was fun. That was fun, man. Baseball, it's entertaining. It's entertaining. You can't win 8 games in a row, but you'll be all right. You'll be all right. Come back, take the next couple, win the series. 888-808-1019. Misery loves company. Like I said, I was just waiting for the Mets to find a way to lose, to join us in our suffering. But you're not going to suffer too much. Oh, Ray looking at me like, well, yo, what's going on? I'm sorry, yo. I'm petty. I can't help it. Sometimes I gotta hate as well. 14 hits, 7 runs. Gregory Soto gives it up. And we'll try to pull some stuff from the post game in the next 50 minutes. I got on the fan, but we got to talk to these Yankee fans, man. There's a bunch of Yankee fans waiting to get their takes off. Let's go to Steve and Freehold on the fan. What's up, Steve?
What's going on, Keith? How you doing?
Good, having fun, hanging out.
Yeah, I hear you. How bad are the Mets too, by the way, huh? Just blowing that lead like that?
They're good. I just complimented them on, how their team is coming together. But it's baseball. The Padres are decent too. But yeah, they're going to talk about this bullpen. And you waste the efforts of a young Ronnie Mauricio bringing you back like that. That's tough.
Yeah. So that's not why I called, but that just happened to be perfect timing. But so we're talking about Volpe. Do you see Volpe as the shortstop of the future? I'm not talking about the Aaron Boone future.
I can't predict the future, but what I'll say is, has he earned that title? Has he earned the title of being the future? Like, no, it's day by day.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like, he should be the New York Yankee prestigious title of shortstop. I mean, we need a superstar there.
He might have been, anointed or donned that with, them giving him number 11 and all the opening day and them saying, hey, we're not sending you down. But like, this is a performance-based business, man. Nobody is safe. You gotta produce.
Right. So my question is, like, what is the rhyme or reason that you think that the Yankees use to either bring people up or keep them down? Because How long have we been hear about Peraza, right? Peraza. Like, bring the kid up, see if he's any good. We have Spencer Jones. We're going to put, Stanton out and right, who's inevitably going to get hurt. Either the first series that they put him in there. I mean, we need his bat in the lineup. We can't have this guy getting injured. So you have Spencer Jones, who's down there killing it. He's 24 years old, right? You got the guy in left field, Jason Dominguez, is 22. So if we're not going by age, what are we going by? I mean, there's a bunch of teams, like you said, that bring up players at a young age, and I just thought of a few off my head. I just looked up their ages. Soto came up at 19 years old, and he had a World Series ring by 20, right?
Oh,
Bryce
it happens
Harper,
across
19.
baseball. There are 23 and 24-year-old players making an impact across baseball. They're all-stars that are that age. Pete Crow Armstrong, Jacob Wilson. It is not crazy to bring these guys. The Angels, they draft guys, bring them up the next year or the year that they draft them. And I know it's the Angels, but what's the rhyme or reason behind the Yankees? I don't know. I think it varies. It is case by case. Like, why is Volpe someone that they decided you're going to win the job in camp and you got it for 2023, 24, and 25? Like, what was it with that? I don't know. And now with Dominguez, right, they bring Dominguez up and he's platooning. Well, now he's got to be out there every day. I don't know. Right. Spencer Jones, to me, last week, him having a 3-homer game, he put the whole baseball world on notice, where probably 29 other teams in Major League Baseball would say, yeah, we could use that up here. He's dominating. And not even just a 3-homer game. He had like a 400 average, ridiculous OPS. Right. Like he's basically saying, I am ready. And then you get the news that Judge goes down, and not even last Tuesday, or was it last Wednesday, Judge feels something in the 6th or 7th inning in his arm. Like, as soon as you get that info, you should be thinking about what the next course of action is. And it just, the next move. It lined up with, last Tuesday, it lined up with Spencer Jones last Thursday hitting 3 home runs. If I know, hey, Judge is feeling something, and I have this Spencer Jones, who's a left-handed Judge light in the minors, hey, put Judgey on the IL, send Spencer Jones up. This is going to, rally the fan base. They're going to be upset about Judge going down, but here comes Spencer Jones to make his debut. What's the worst that can happen?
Right. Well, that's the same thing I think with Lombard too. Like, what's the worst that Lombard, if you bring that kid up?
Lombard is
20.
Lombard is 20 years old. I got to be around both of those guys. Spencer Jones looks like he should be in Major League Baseball. Oh, yeah. He went to college.
Yeah, I watched.
George Lombard Jr.
Yeah, I watched.
He needs to get his average up a bit. He's got to dominate pitching at the AA level. Spencer Jones is dominating pitching at the AAA level. I think he's ready to go. Not so much George Lombard Jr. Thanks for the call, Steve. 888-808-1019. I always tell you that when I went out to Somerset, they specifically introduced me to George Lombard, Spencer Jones, and I'll be out there this Saturday for the game. There's fireworks. We're doing the celebration of the Negro Leagues. The players will be wearing the black Yankees jerseys. It'll be me, 2 former Negro League players, and Willie Randolph. Pre-game ceremony, I think, starts at like 6:40 on the field, and then I'll MC all the events on field through the night. So if you're in that area or thinking about coming out to see the Somerset Patriots this Saturday, August 2nd, do so. Come check me out. Yeah, George Lombard Jr. is not ready yet. He's a 20-year-old kid who obviously has the bloodline. His dad being a former player and still being in the game, but he has to, let me see if I can pull up his numbers. He's got to continue a little bit here. He's got a 241 average this season, a 749 OPS. I think I just saw a stat that he hit safely in 10 games in a row. He's got the profile to be next up in the next 2 years. Like, he's got the athletic build. He's taller than Volpe. He's 6'2", 190. Some of the plays that he's made on defense, he looks like a natural. He's got the instincts, but let's not lump him together with Spencer Jones. Spencer Jones is 6'7", 270. He's changed his stance where they got this big guy like leaning halfway over, but it's working for him. Where like I just don't understand how you can say, let's put Giancarlo Stanton at age 35, who's injury prone and doesn't play the outfield because you acquired him and made him a DH. Now, like, you can't keep doing this stuff. And this is what falls back into the Yankee arrogance of playing guys out of position, doing things like this. Okay, now you're going to put Stanton back in the outfield and risk injury there, even just warming up. This is a guy that doubles aren't doubles, they're singles because he can't run. And it's crazy to me to think that the thought process is to tell the world, yeah, we're going to potentially put Stanton back in the outfield before you bring up Spencer Jones, who's a good defender, who could definitely play right field in Yankee Stadium and is mashing. And don't tell me about the back spasms. That's not the type of injury that should keep a kid from coming up when you have a need. I don't know. Make it make sense. I don't understand. I don't know. I would do that, especially when you have your own fan base showing up with Fire Cashman signs, booing your homegrown shortstop. Like that, you need something. Like I remember you breaking glass in case of emergency in 2023, calling up Everson Pereira, Austin Wells, and Embrace the Martian. Jason Dominguez came up because it was like, hey, and these fans, they're pissed off because we're not going to make the postseason. What do we do? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Dom is in Bensonhurst next on the Fan. What's up, Dom?
Keith, how you doing, kid?
I'm good. I'm all right. Just talking through this stuff.
Right, so I got a little bit of a plan for the Yankees this deadline. Okay, BT was talking about a little bit earlier. They got to do a little bit of selling. Not a lot of selling, a little bit of selling. Okay. Grisham, I think, first move, hands down, has to be moved. They're not going to re-sign him. There's no point in re-signing him when you got Cody Bellinger and then you got Spencer Jones and you got Jason Dominguez. Like, there's no reason to re-sign Trent Grisham, especially with the price tag he's going to want. So you got to move him. Second, now this is going to be a little bit more crazy. What about moving Stanton? Okay, his contract's a little bit lower the next couple of years. You can get off of that deal. You can get a little bit back for him.
He's got a no-trade clause.
That's true. That is true. I did not realize that. So he probably wouldn't want to be moved. Okay.
Yeah, and it's a ton of money for a guy that's only a DH. Now, that there are some teams that might just need a postseason bat.
The contract's going down the next 2 years.
Yeah.
It's like 19 million.
This is where the Marlins kick in on. Yeah, but I think Stanton has been vocal about wanting to be a Yankee, choosing to be here. I don't think he's going for it. I don't think that they can move him.
That's true. That's very true. Very true. But I got one more, like, trade that they can make. And then I have a couple other moves that aren't necessarily trades, but could help.
Okay.
People are going to hate me for this one, but Anthony Volpe, I think, might have to be on the block. Okay, call me crazy.
He's got zero value. You can't get an 18-year-old kid.
He has value. He has value. He's still a good defender. People know he's in his own head right now. Okay, there's still talent there. He's not a shortstop, by the way, either. He's a second baseman. Some team, maybe a contending team, might want to take a chance on him. Maybe if they have a need.
The Yankees, he's under control. He doesn't cost anything. There's no chance that the Yankees are going to trade him for a kid.
Yeah, no chance they're going to do it. I get that part. But, like, should they do it is what I'm saying. It's like, I think it makes so much
No, what they should do is not tell us that he's the shortstop no matter what. Like, what they should do is give him scheduled rest like they give other people and not say he's young and like, I know, but you can't trade him for anything. You can't trade him for anything. They're not looking to trade him. That's why they're telling all of us he's elite. That's why they're telling all of us they believe that he's going to come through. And that's why he's in the lineup every single day, because like that is what they chose. They die hard on their trades, their contracts, and their roster decisions. Thanks for the call, Dom. 888-808-1019. It is what it is. Like it is frustrating as hell too as a Yankee fan, because you see them do things like they're doing right now. Stanton going out there and playing in right field, to me, there's no need for it. Not unless are you trading Trent Grisham? Are you trading Jason Dominguez? Are you going to be down another outfielder? Where I understand if you are moving one of them, because then you're down to, let's say they trade Grisham. Then you're down to, I'm getting disgusted thinking about like Cody Bellinger in center field with Jason Dominguez in left and Stanton to right. Cody Bellinger's got to cover the whole outfield. Shout out to Dominguez. He made a nice running catch in left center tonight, but you know he's an adventure out there. Ahmed Rosario supposedly can play the corner outfield positions. I'm assuming if you are putting Stanton out there and you refuse to call up Spencer Jones, it's because you have one of or both of Trent Grisham and Jason Dominguez on the trade block. And like that's what it's going to take for you to get Yohan Duran or David Bednar. Like those guys' names have come up. There's no reason to put Stan there at risk. Like this is the guy whose elbows are like, I don't know. I don't think it makes any sense. The guy that is a postseason monster. Let's put him in jeopardy of pulling something in August where he could not be ready to go in October. I don't understand that, man. I don't get that one. I don't get that one at all. Let's go to Ben in Brooklyn on the Fan next. Ben, we are looking at Carlos Mendoza. He got ejected in this game early defending Juan Soto, and he wasn't there to kind of steer the ship the rest of the way. Juan Soto goes 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. I was talking about how he's been getting jobbed. The Mets battled back. It was an exciting game, but they end up losing this one barely. Let me know your thoughts.
Yo, Keith. So first, I've been listening since day one, back when you were like re-listening to your own shows to fine-tune everything. I even shouted you out last week on the show for being one of the few hosts who can talk Mets and Yankees without bias. I literally said, I respect that you support both teams without bias. You're a Yankees fan, but you talk facts. But tonight, bro, you let the mask slip. I swear I heard that loud clap.
That was me playing into it because, I mean, maybe you guys couldn't hear the Met fans in the building cheering as Vientos hit the grand slam. Maybe that didn't come through the microphone. But between Ray out there, Jack, I don't know if Paulie's still here. Only Yankee fans in here are Marco and I. I'm like, I got to give us some applause for the loss. But yeah.
No, you were way too happy about that walk-off.
No, I clap like when they land the plane, or I clap like when a good movie ends. Like it was a good baseball game. The way that it ended was riveting. Jose Iglesias pinch hit bunt to get like Gregory Soto off his game a bit, and then who ends up scoring the run to win it? Candelita reunion night.
It hurt, man. We had a 5-1 lead after the Vientos grand slam, then the collapse, then the Mauricio miracle homer. I let myself believe again, only to get stabbed in the heart in the bottom of the ninth. This team is like emotional CrossFit, and I keep showing up. And
but you just won 7 games in a row, bro.
I know.
You swept the Giants in their building. You swept the Angels in your building. Like the backyard sports thing and Elmo and now the Jean-Cleta, the home run sandal, the Shanka, whatever they call it. Like,
you're right. But while I was out here picking up the pieces, you're in the studio sounding like you just hit a walk-off. But
just a little clap over the update, because I know Marco, some people, I don't talk over the updates. I just clapped in the back of the update. That's all. It's for effect.
I love the show, man. But you owe Mets fans an emotional Venmo or something. We're going to remember this.
I don't got any bread for that. Thanks for the call, Ben. I'm popped. I was betting on the Yankees over the course of their losing streaks in June and into July. I don't got any money left. I'm cooked. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm honestly, I was spending time patting the Mets on the back for the production that they're getting out of guys that aren't their big money guys, for now having a team that's comprised of the baby Mets and the Flushing Four, the Fab Four, the Met Quartet. I was just literally saying the Make It Happen Mets. I don't hate the Mets. These are my Mets. I have to watch them because I am a radio host here at WFAN. I can't get on the mic and not know what went on against the Giants, not know what went on this entire season. And I said they went through a rough stretch, the Mets, but they came out of it with a win streak, and it was almost like they got their mascot mojo back with Pablo Sanchez from the backyard sports, and then Elmo coming through, and it used to be the OMG sign. Now it's a shankla, a big ass sandal. Whatever works, yo. Whatever works. as long as you're winning games. And what I had also said was when you look at the standings and when you look at where the Mets are, like they are one of the better teams in baseball. Baseball, it is a long marathon of a season. You're going to have weeks where you struggle. You're going to have weeks where your pitching folds. You're going to have weeks where Lindor goes 0 for 31 or Pete Alonso isn't necessarily getting it done. You know what I'm saying? Or, Juan Soto was player of the month in June, but then, you need guys like Mauricio, Vientos, Beatty to figure it out. And they have. And I think that bodes well for not just roster construction, but decisions that you're going to make at this trade deadline. Your president of baseball operations doesn't feel like you need that much. Feels like you just need a couple arms. And you throw them into Jeremy Hefner's lab and you're ready to roll. So it's baseball. To win 8 in a row, most teams in Major League Baseball this year are not going to have an 8-game win streak. The Mets just ended at 7, and I know they've had other win streaks before. So, and it took, to the bottom of the 9th to get it done. And I think that's a good night for Jose Iglesias to come into that game, affect the game, putting down that sac bunt, and that moves the runners, or that moves the runner to second. He gets on safely because Gregory Soto can't make the throw to Lindor, and then later in the inning, he scores the winning run. Who would have thought it was going to go down that way? Mickey is in Sturbridge, Massachusetts on the Fan. What's up, Mick?
How you doing, Keith?
Good.
So I made the trip from Sturbridge, 2.5 hours, picked up my boy this afternoon in Manhattan, went down to Katz, had the pastrami sandwich, made a day of it. Went to the game, my first game in 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And I think I spoke to you about 2 weeks ago about Boone, who I don't like. And the main reason I don't like him is the way he handles his pitching changes. Tonight, tell me if I missed something. I'm watching the game. He brings in Weaver, who had a good outing, his last outing, I think at the end of the Toronto series, was it? And he comes in first and third.
Weaver pitched.
Yeah, Weaver.
Yeah, Weaver pitched in the Philly series. He pitched
in the Philly series.
He pitched Sunday. I was there. Yeah, he pitched Sunday.
Yeah, and he pitched well. And they won that game. They finally got that game. But he brings him in tonight, first and third, 1 out, strikes out the first guy, gets a ground ball, minimum amount of pitches, starts him in the next inning. I don't know, might have been the 7th, I think. And first guy, it's the 2-hopper, the Volpe, who bobbled it in the hole, but he wasn't getting the guy out anyway. It was a hit.
Caballero,
and then he takes him out. And then he takes him out for this freaking lefty-righty crap that I can't stand. And this is why I don't like Boone.
Only lefty out of the bullpen, the most overused guy in all of baseball coming out of the bullpen.
And, so you're bringing in an unknown in some regards. You don't know how he's going to be, and he wasn't on tonight. They hammered him. They're lucky they only got 1 run out of it, the Yankees, because they hit him hard. But you take out Weaver, who's pitching well. That hit he gave up to Volpe in deep short. He wouldn't have got the guy out, but it was a 2-hop ground ball. The inning before, he got us out of a jam. And you take him out for this lefty-righty crap when you got a guy on the mound that's pitching good. That's why I don't like Boone. There's no feeling for how the flow of the game is going with these pitchers. He should have let Weaver in. I mean, he was pitching well.
Yeah, I think that I know the Yes Network flashes the bullpen budget. How many pitches did he throw the day before? They always factor that in. Tonight, Weaver threw 16 pitches.
Maybe 16. And he was pitching well. That's the thing.
Sunday, he threw, I think, 13. Let me go back to that box score. So when they combine those outings, 13 pitches on Sunday. I don't know, man. You're right. It's matchups, it's lanes, it's predetermined who they want to face who when. And Weaver could be going good, and you're in there. They got the whole Star Wars. You hear Darth Vader breathing. My wife's like, I hate that sound. Why do they do that? I'm like, it's Luke Weaver, like Luke Skywalker.
I can't stand what
I can't stand what you know what I actually had the conversation with my wife about? I'm like, maybe it's too much. Maybe we've gone past the he's got his whole Star Wars entrance. We've got the Darth Vader breathing sounds. Maybe he doesn't need all of that, especially if you're going to yank him after he gets 2 outs.
Yeah, Keith, let me ask you another question because I'm not that familiar with Rosario, but he plays shortstop too, doesn't he?
He came up as a shortstop. Yeah, the Met fans will tell you.
Okay. Now, I don't know how good he is at short, but God, put him in for a couple of days and sit Volpe down. I mean, he came in tonight, Rosario. He smoked a single.
Yes.
And let's give this guy a chance. I mean, Volpe, I've always been behind him, but I don't know.
As well.
I think his whole batting stance has to be changed by somebody. I just don't like the way he is at the plate.
He's pressing, but he's had some home runs in this last week. I think he's got 3 homers. And
he hit 2 in one game.
Yeah, in the Braves game, and he homered he homered 4 times. He homered a 2-homer game in Atlanta. He homered in Toronto, and then he homered on his bobblehead night Friday. So he's got the power stroke, but it is bigger than just him. And I feel like the Yankees owe it to him to not say, hey, in your 3rd year at age 24 with all of this pressure on you, figure it out. No. We'll give you a break. We'll give you a day off in between to come up for air, which also can help you figure it out. I honestly thought when they got Amed Rosario, I'm like, okay, this is the veteran that I was calling for 2 weeks ago when I said, how did Volpe win the job? He won the job competing for the job. Maybe it will help to have a veteran that could push him, spell him, that he could learn from, he could take infielding practice with. But it doesn't hurt to have a veteran presence at shortstop. But I don't know if they view Rosario as someone that could play the position at the age he's at now.
Do you feel that Volpe needs an overhaul of his batting stance and how he swings?
I listened to A-Rod talk about the type of hitter that he should be, and then I laughed as Volpe is still swinging for the fences and still has a little bit of that uppercut in his swing. And it's like someone told me, hey, A-Rod said you need to be a line drive hitter. You need to swing more flat. You need to be the best bunter on the team. And Volpe's like, I'm going to have a 20-homer season. I'm swinging for the fences.
And I agree with A-Rod. I think he needs a change in his batting stance. Let's go to right field. Let's be a line drive hitter. We don't need you to hit home runs. Yeah, they help. Of course they do. But we don't need Volpe to hit home runs. We got enough power in the lineup. I just think, and I like Volpe. I think he's got potential, but nothing's changed, man. Where's the hitting coaches? Aren't they trying to do something, adjust him? I don't get it.
It's tough
Really
because he goes 0 for 4 yesterday in the Sunday game to avoid the sweep. He has 2 strikeouts. And then tonight,
how many strikeouts does he have for the year? I don't know the number, but it's got to be way up there.
Yeah, it's up there. I'll take a look. Thanks for the call, Mickey. We got to go to break. 888-808-1019 as we're wrapping this show up. Another 0 for night for Volpe, batting 9th and 2 strikeouts. His average is down to 213. His OPS is at 683. But yeah, when you look at the 14 homers, the 55 ribbies, there's some good there. But I'll look up his strikeout numbers on the year, and I'll tell you that when we come back. But I just think that there has to be an option. What if the kid doesn't figure it out? Are you going to die on that? Amed Rosario, I got to go look up the last time he actually played shortstop as well. I'll do that work during the break. Keith McPherson on the Fan. Don't go anywhere because I'm coming right back.
Baseball heartbreak, football glory.
All right, some quick homework, yo. Not homework because I'm not at home. Some quick break work. I'm tired of that, bro. I'm really off that. People talking about his minor league stats or what he did for Team USA. I know you're joking. You might have some sarcasm on that, but I always hear the Caster talking about like I don't care about that. I'm talking about right now. So right now I'm looking up when's the last game that Amed Rosario played shortstop in. Let's go to Baseball Reference. Standard fielding. In 2022, he played some shortstop. 2023 played some shortstop. Bro, he's played shortstop. He just played shortstop. He played one game with the Nationals at short. And I know it's the Nationals. He played one game with the Nationals at short in 2025. He played with the Dodgers 2 games in 2024. Tampa 12 games. So I'll go back to that. And now let's look up Volpe's strikeouts. Not for nothing. You know who got the most strikeouts? Pete Alonso. They gave Soto a throwing error. Oh, man, I'm shot out, bro. Let's see. Did they give Soto a throwing error on that last play? Tough night for him. Or was it a different play? Soto in the third. Was it a third? Error Soto 3 and on a throw. It's always hard to host a show and watch these games in here. I'm like, I don't recall. Tatis grounds out. Machado hit. Machado steals second. Singles on a line drive to Jeff McNeil. Is that Soto's third error? I know one of y'all know that was watching the game. I see it in the summary too, but when was it? At the end of the game? 5th inning was brutal to watch. Soto airmailed that throw to second. When did he make the throw? Yeah, but you can evolve. And that's the thing. I'm tired of hearing about what Volpe was as a kid, bro. Like, it's got nothing to do with right now. It always comes up what he did as a 18-year-old. I'm rooting for the kid. I promise you I'm rooting for the kid. I'm rooting for everybody that wears pinstripes. But I say that to say this. He shouldn't be on an island alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, he should not be in a position where it's just like, yep, figure it out. He's got 100 strikeouts on the year. Shit. It's a lot, man. Pete Alonso's got 109. Judge is 120. All right, we're coming back.
Fans come together and sound off. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
Okay. I don't think I have any more breaks, so let's get back to the phones and take all the calls that I have from Yankee fans that want to get their takes and thoughts in on this loss to the Rays from yesterday, or just the losing in general from this month and last month, state of the Yankees. And then if any Mets fans want to jump in, I'm sure Big Mac will get a lot of Mets calls reacting to that first loss in over a week. 7-game win streak comes to an end, but you had a lot of heroics in that game, and they made it a game. Mauricio, Brett Beatty, and Candelita gets the last laugh on his reunion night. The work that I said I was going to do during the break. Anthony Volpe has 100 strikeouts on the season, only second to Aaron Judge on the Yankees. Judge has 120, but obviously you can live with that because Judge is Judge. Dominguez not far behind Volpe with 95, which is kind of crazy because Dominguez doesn't play every day. I also said, when was the last time that Ahmed Rosario played shortstop? And when you go to Baseball Reference, he played with the Washington Nationals at shortstop in 2025. He played with the Dodgers 2 games at shortstop in 2024. He played 12 games at shortstop with Tampa Bay in 2024. I don't know. He exists on the team now. I'd rather you put him in the game at shortstop to spell Volpe than Peraza. He exists on the team now. Maybe they find the matchup. Maybe it can't hurt. You give everybody else scheduled rest, at least to shield him. At least to shield him from the boos and the fans. Like, he's pressing, he's striking out. They're booing his ass. A hard hit ball by Caballero, who, like, I don't think Lindor is getting him. I don't think, and like, not even to throw Lindor in there, but there's a ton of shortstops that are making big money, right? Willie Adames is up there in errors. Willie Adames isn't getting Caballero going to his right on that play. And yes, Boone said he's got to stop the ball and not let it get by him. But yo, Joe Madden was just on MLB Network last week talking about Volpe's mechanics. The fundamentals are breaking down. Because when you're pressing and you're thinking about everything, it gets the best of you. 888-808-1019. Tony's in Montreal. Timber Tony back on the fan.
How you doing, Keith?
I'm good.
I'm good, Keith. I listen to these guys. They think like the entire Yankee meltdown right now is based upon Anthony Volpe. So I'm going to give a suggestion that's a little lighthearted. I'm going to go down to Elio's in downtown Montreal, where all the Italians are. I'm going to get Elio to cook up his best Parmesan and Alfredo and send it to Anthony Volpe. And then I'm going to call Chaz Palmieri in New Jersey, one of the best baseball players ever to come out of Colby College. I'm going to get his mother's chicken parm, and I'm going to send it down to the Yankees. And I'm going to ask all of the haters in New York that hate Volpe to come in on an empty day and make a contribution to some kid's foundation and hate on Volpe while he sits at shortstop and eats the best chicken parm in the city of Montreal. How's that? Because I got to listen to these guys, and I was trying to do the stats on Volpe. He's not a bad hitter. I wonder, Keith, how many home runs in the major leagues today that other shortstop of his age can match his stats in hitting. I'm talking about home runs and et cetera. Like you said, he can hit the ball, and he might have 20 home runs. How many 20 home run potential 24-year-old shortstops are there in the major leagues today? And if we think he's the only problem, right? Look at Stanton today. He looked like he had robot moon boots on when he was at home plate.
Yeah, because they had him warming up in right field. He doesn't usually ever do that. I'm telling you, they did too much.
He looks terrible, man. He looks terrible when he's in the field, and he gets tired. He's so huge, man. Leave him on the bench. He looks like a heavyweight fighter,
Thanks for the call, Tony. I just got to move it along. This show is going to evaporate in 12 minutes. I've got 4 more calls. I'm completely against Stanton doing anything besides swinging the bat and being ready to swing the bat in October. They do not have to put Ahmed Rosario in right field. Put Cody Bellinger in right field. Unless you're trading Dominguez and Grisham, I don't see why you need to do that. You've got 2 guys that can play right field. And with Volpe, shout out to Peter Rex. Peter Rex said this in the chat, and I started. This is from 11:15. He said, people feel frustrated at the organization, and Volpe symbolizes the organization right now. So somebody who has been labeled a teacher's pet, somebody who has been protected by the organization, I get that. I don't do that. I don't boo the Yankees, and I don't understand. Like, you guys see the kid pressing, having a hard time. You're going to the stadium to boo him. You're going to the stadium to heckle him, to yell things at him as he's walking to the plate. He strikes out. You're giving him a hard time. He's in the field. He's got to be perfect in the field. Like, you just make it harder. But when Peter said that, I understand exactly that, right? You're frustrated at the organization and you're taking it out on the guy that the organization anointed as like the next Yankee shortstop and hasn't lived up to what your expectations were when you first heard of, him coming out as a top prospect and him, being this young guy that won the job in camp and was beyond reproach. Nope, never sending you down even when you struggle. We're going to defend you in the post game and we're going to keep running you out there and you don't need rest. And we just expect you to figure it out on your own. They owe it to him because of his development and him not having that much time in AAA and COVID affecting his seasoning in the minors. They owe it to him to not say, hey, man, it's you versus the league and the fans and the opposing pitcher. It's too tough. For the better, greater good of the entire team and fan base, they should explore maybe Ahmed Rosario getting a game or two here at shortstop. What's the worst that can happen? He strikes out twice, 3 times. Like, Volpe can do that. So, yeah, we'll see. We shall see. James is in Hicksville next on the Fan. You're in there, James.
Hey, what's going on?
Talking to talk about the Yanks.
Well, first of all, I just want to say I don't appreciate the Giancarlo Stanton disrespect.
Okay, go on.
Well, you're saying that he can't play the field. Of course he can play the field. He had a top 5 prime in MLB history.
Oh, my. We're talking about 2025. We're talking about July 29th, Like, we cannot keep doing that. He is not Miami Marlins Giancarlo Stanton. He's had 8 injuries since then. It is a liability to put him out there. You risk him having a calf or hamstring injury that will take him off the field. The guy didn't start playing until June. I think it's reckless to put him out there. I think there are other options. You don't have to do that. And today, the first day that he goes out there to shag some fly balls and throw them in, it's too much for him. So I'm not disrespecting him. If anything, I'm respecting his greatness in the postseason, right? That is where we do respect him, where we say, hey, no Giancarlo Stanton slander. This isn't slander. I'm slandering the organization, not G.
Hello? Yeah.
Thanks for the call, James. Don't get it twisted. I don't want to hear about his MVP season. Guess who? If you listen to me for these 4 years, I told you. Guess who went down there to see him try and hit 60? I did. I was in Marlins Park. I was there, not thinking that he would ever be a Yankee. His MVP season, 2017. He's not that anymore. He's far from that. That was a long time ago, bros. He's 35 years old. He needs to be a DH only, and that's what they made him to be. And now all of a sudden, because Judge is going to have to DH, they have to figure out some other thing. No, now you got 2 big-ass DHs where, honestly, it was redundant for you to bring Stanton here because you already had a big-ass muscle-bound right fielder anyway. Anthony is in California. What's up, Anthony?
Hey, Keith. Good evening, man, or good morning to you. Just thinking back, listening to the Yankees talk, and I grew up in Southern California, but in a Yankee house as a Yankee fan from my dad. And I've been listening all these years to you guys and watching TV, what I can get over here anyway. And what do you think about the pitching this year? Like, what are they going to do? What are the moves they're going to make to try to acquire some pitchers, some arms, a half an arm, 3 fingers, whatever they can get?
Honestly,
you know what I mean?
With the stuff that's coming out, I fear all right, when Brian Hoke reports that they're interested in Caleb Ferguson and Andrew Heaney and Dennis Santana, I'm like, nah, bro. Yeah. That's not it. Don't even waste our time with that. There's some reports about them getting Jake Bird. There's some reports about David Bednar, Ryan Helsley, John Duran, Griffin Jacks. I'd rather see them go out and get the high leverage relievers.
Right.
They've even been linked to Mackenzie Gore and Mitch Keller. I like the thought of one or of those 2. I also like the idea of Zach Gallen more so than Merrill Kelly. There isn't much pointing to Sandy Alcantara, but I think if they want to be serious about making this push, into October and doing anything in October, they need another starter and they need 2 relievers, 1 left-handed reliever and 1 swing and miss right-handed reliever.
Most definitely, man. I mean, everybody's, obviously the Judge injury, they'll work that out. Everything always works out as far as that kind of thing goes.
We dodged one with that. Judge could have been shut down for the year. Judge is shut down for 10 days.
For sure. But they need to worry about the arms still. I don't know if Cashman's going to do that. I don't know. I'm just waiting back and seeing what's happening. But I agree with you. You need to get 1 or 2 guys, if you can 3, but probably not, at least 1 or 2. You get some solid arms because it's not going to get any better. And they're doing what they can with everybody they got, but it ain't enough. You know what I mean?
It's definitely not enough. Thanks for the call, Ant. It's definitely not enough. You know it's not enough because you watch this thing they do every. Oh, we got to go to Tim Hill again. Oh, Luke Weaver. Oh, we got to take Luke Weaver out. His pitch count is getting up there. We don't want him to face this batter. We gotta be very careful with our bullpen budget and decisions here. And before you know it, it's Scott Efros or JT Brubaker or I don't know, man. In this game tonight or last night, the offense couldn't get it going, but I mean, the race didn't just beat us over the head or nothing like that. It's just and Cam Schlittler didn't lose this game with the 2 runs that he gave up. It's tough. They don't have enough. Guys are overused. They need guys to get healthy, and they need to add some dominant guys. Because who do you trust at this point coming out of the Yankees bullpen? Cashman's supposed to be the guy that can hang his hat on. I always have a good bullpen. I always build a good bullpen. So go and build one. Go add to this, right? Third base and a utility player, check. Ryan McMahon, check. Ahmed Rosario, check. And you didn't have to give up anybody that anybody really knows or cares about. Clayton Beater, we know the name, but the rest of the guys we don't care about. Clayton Beater and a kid that's playing in Dominican League, he's 18, okay. The other 2 guys that were mid-level, like something in the teens, pitching prospects for McMahon, okay. McMahon has already shown you third base is easy for him, and he has come up with runners on base, bases loaded. He worked a walk to score a run, and I was there Sunday when he drove in the runs to tie the game. Good enough for me. He's going to strike out, but whatever. Now use your top prospects or whoever it is you have to go get us a left-handed pitcher so it's not always Tim Hill coming out of the bullpen, a starting pitcher and another reliever. Bob is out in Los Angeles. We're getting the West Side on the Fan in New York.
The trade for Stan just keeps getting a bigger and bigger all-time personnel screw-up when he's, an elephant in the room and Bryce Harper plays a pretty decent first base. It's just roster construction with this guy is,
when we don't win anything, Bob, we will look back and say, wow, 2017, Girardi took this team to Game 7 of the ALCS, and we thought they were ahead of schedule. They were back. They made the evil empire move to get Stanton, but I think all of us knew that was a move so that they didn't have to go pay Manny Machado or Bryce Harper. They didn't give up anything. They inherited that stupid contract the Marlins made, and it was a redundant move. And now here we are all these years later with this big muscle-bound guy that they're going to actually have out there in the outfield. It doesn't make any damn sense because now Judge is only going to be able to DH. And yeah, it becomes an albatross. It has become that. You can't move him. You have a guy on the roster making all this money that can only hit. And so you're going to justify putting him in the outfield to try and get, a return on investment and open up the DH spot for Judge? It's foolish.
That move, man, really was like marrying the wrong woman. Like it was that big a move. And the tragedy is who officiated the wedding? Mr. Derek Jeter himself. We basically got stunk, and I think we got sunk, man. I don't know how this roster construction's been herky jerky ever since then. I'm not saying he would have figured it out without that, but that's an anchor, man. And I don't know how we get out from under that while Aaron Judge is not getting younger.
Next year the money comes down, but he'll still be here because he's chasing 500, right? He's trying to be a Hall of Famer. He'll still be here. Thanks for the call, Bob. Last call of the night goes to Moose in Jamaica on the Fan.
Your Keith, what it do? Safe travels to your family at home. Pet your cat for me, all that good stuff. I'll try to make this quick. I got a couple points. One, CC Sabathia's number should be retired.
with the legends that have played for the Yankees and the numbers that have been retired from the core four of the 90s and other players like Reggie Jackson, if you're in the Hall of Fame, you should have your number by that standard retired, but I understand why it is. Also, I think in 2021, I happened to turn on ESPN Watch Around the Horn, and Bob Ryan was Dr. Point at the start of the show, not to plug another network, but he was Dr. Point, and there was a reference to him not voting Derek Jeter into the Hall of Fame. The Boston Globe, highly esteemed writer for obvious reasons, because he's a Red Sox fan, didn't vote Derek Jeter into the Hall of Fame. So I guess I'm dry snitching or whatever. 3 for the Yankees. Keep the faith. We'll make trades, and we got to ride this one out. I showed up to games in 2023 in September. That's how hard I'll ride for my boys, no matter what.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking my.
It's not time to get off the ride. Thanks for the call, Moose. We have this radio station to talk about it all day long. We have social media, Twitter, Instagram, to talk through all of it. The deadline is 6 p.m. on Thursday. It is 1:55 a.m. on Tuesday. We'll find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. You know, I don't know what's going to happen. Neither do you. C-Mac is coming up next. Thanks for listening. Thanks for calling. Thanks for watching on the live stream. We'll do this again tomorrow. I'll see you at Yankee Stadium. Good night.
All right, y'all. I gotta bounce, man. That's it, man. Yo, that's it, yo. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all in here, man. That's a wrap. We'll do this again tomorrow. I'm gonna be at the game, and then I'll come down here and do what I gotta do. You feel me? Appreciate y'all, man. That's a good amount of people in the chat, you know. You could be asleep right now, but you was listening to Yankee tears. That's what it is. That's what it is. They want to listen to the Yankees and the Yankees fans cry and complain. I'm gonna keep it G real. This shit sucks, but it ain't over. It ain't fun, but it's not time to quit. I'm not built like that. You know, if I could have quit a long time ago. If I would have quit, I wouldn't be standing here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a quitter. I'm always going to win. It might not be today. It might not be tomorrow. But I'm going to find a way to win. That's just how I'm built. That's just how I'm wired, you know? So even with the Yankees, which I don't control, even with the Yankees, which I don't make any decisions, I have a belief that, like, it's not over until it's over. Somebody's going to get hurt, just like Judge got hurt on an opposing team. Cashman's job is to fix this roster and make things better and add to this team. So, all right, I got to get out of the way. Big Mac's coming in. Appreciate y'all.